My beloved child, do not scroll past this moment. I need you to stop exactly where you are because this is a divine interruption ordained for your specific timeline. I am stepping into your day with fire in my voice and a change in my hands that you have been praying for. This is the collision point between everything you have endured in silence and everything I have prepared for you in secret. I am not whispering today. I am declaring over your life that I am about to change the entire script. No delay, no fear, and no lie from the enemy will be able to stop what I have just set in motion. You cannot afford to miss a single word of this. Do not let distractions rob you of your destiny right now. Watch this until the very end because every second is a piece of the blueprint I have hidden for this exact hour. I have timed this word to find you now, and when you receive it, you will never be the same. Get ready and lean in, because what happens next is going to mark you forever. My beloved child, everything within me is stirring for you right now because this exact breath you are taking is pregnant with divine urgency. This is not the kind of urgency born from panic or chaos, but from a love so fierce and intentional that I had to disrupt the rhythm of your day just to reach your soul. I am not speaking this to a nameless crowd. I am speaking directly to you, intimately and purposely. The world around you may not understand what is happening in your spirit right now. And that is okay. This message wasn't crafted for the masses. It is a divine alert written in the language of your spirit, heard only by the ears that have been waiting in silence for far too long. You have walked through so many days feeling unseen, unheard, and untouched by the promises you once clung to with trembling hope. But I want you to know that I have leaned down closer than ever before. I am interrupting your atmosphere with a declaration that carries the weight of eternity. What I am about to speak, what I am about to do, and what is already in motion beneath the surface of your life cannot be postponed, eluded, or dismissed. It is divine, it is deliberate, and it is destined to change the very fabric of your existence. This is not just another gentle nudge or a casual encouragement sent to lift your mood for a moment. This is an emergency transmission, coded in the atmosphere of heaven, carrying the breath of my spirit, and meant to awaken every dormant part of your destiny. I have seen how weariness has woven itself into the edges of your soul. I have seen how delay has dared to whisper to you that maybe I forgot, maybe I moved on, or maybe I shifted my favor to someone else. But hear me clearly, child. I never left. I never looked away. I never skipped past your prayers. Instead, I have been standing at the edge of this very moment, orchestrating a divine collision between your faith and my fulfillment. This is the turning point. This is the breath where what was whispered in secret now begins to thunder across your timeline. I have interrupted your ordinary routine because what is coming is anything but ordinary, and I had to get your full attention before I poured it out. You are about to see the script rewritten, the narrative flipped, and the trajectory reversed, not because you performed perfectly, but because I saw the hidden posture of your heart when no one else did. You stayed, you trusted, you waited, and now I speak with the full weight of heaven that I am about to change everything. My child, I need you to take a deep breath right here. Right now, let the air fill your lungs not just with oxygen, but with expectancy. Because what I am about to do in your life isn't a gentle nudge. It is a full-blown divine overhaul. Not a small tweak, not a subtle change, but a supernatural shift so deep, so divine, and so disruptive in the most holy of ways that everything you have known as normal will begin to unravel in the light of my intervention. I am not coming to merely rearrange the furniture in your life. I am not touching up the paint on walls of old disappointments. I am not applying spiritual cosmetics to camouflage the cracks in your heart. No, beloved, I am tearing down, rebuilding, and renewing with fire from heaven and blueprints that have been hidden in my heart since before you took your first breath. What is coming will not fit into your previous categories. It will not feel familiar, but it will feel right. So right, in fact, that when you look back at the former rhythm of your life, You will barely recognize it. That is how comprehensive this is. That is how complete my touch is. This is transformation, total, tangible, tender, and terrifying only to the part of you that fears losing control. You have grown used to living in a cycle that I never authored. You have been dancing to the beat of disappointment, tiptoeing around the jagged edges of past trauma, and adapting to pain like it was permanent furniture in the room of your life. But now I am entering like a storm, not to destroy you, but to disrupt the patterns that have numbed you. This divine shift is not just about what changes around you, it is about what I am breaking off of you. You have lived under ceilings I never installed. You have bowed to deadlines I never designed. You have adjusted your dreams downward to match your disappointments. But child, I am pulling the roof off. I am stretching your spirit beyond survival. This is not about comfort, it is about calling. And I am calling you higher. Higher than compromise, higher than coping, and higher than the lie that says maybe this is all there is. Oh beloved, there is more. There is so much more. Your mind will stagger at the goodness of it. This overhaul will stretch you, but it will also set you free. Chains you didn't even know you were wearing will fall without fanfare. Limits you assumed were part of your DNA will dissolve in the heat of my glory. This is not motivation, this is manifestation. You will walk into rooms where you once felt invisible and be undeniably seen. You will speak words you didn't know you had the courage to form. Why? Because this isn't behavior modification. This is identity revelation. You have heard people speak of seasons, but what I am doing now doesn't fit into a simple season. It is not a cycle, it is a crossover. You are standing at the precipice of divine disruption, meant not to tear you apart, but to tear the veil between what you settled for and what I destined. You will not return to the rhythm of resignation. That quiet narrative you have been living, the one that says, maybe I missed it. Maybe it's too late, or maybe I'm just supposed to endure, I am flipping it upside down. Maybe has no place in your future. I am replacing it with certainly, with surely, and with suddenly. This is the moment where I take the pen out of fear's hand and begin writing the chapter I have been holding back until now. This is the day everything changes. Not because I just decided to act, but because you have been prepared to receive. My spirit has been conditioning you in the silence, in the strange detours, and in the delays that almost made you give up. You thought I was distant, but I was designing. You thought I was silent, but I was strategizing. And now the divine delivery is here. Do not expect your life to resemble what it once was. It won't. It can't. I love you too much to let you keep living small in a life I have called to be significant. And child, don't fear the shift. Embrace it. The uncertainty you feel is not danger. It is the echo of destiny waking up. I am not removing things to hurt you. I am removing what is in the way. Let me overturn the tables of your comfort if it means I restore the altar of your calling. Let me strip what you thought you needed so I can show you what I actually prepared. The upheaval you sense is not chaos, it is creation. I am rebuilding your life not around your pain, but around your purpose. I am setting fire to what once chained you, and I am using the ashes to mark the threshold into your next dimension. You have been faithful in your ordinary. Now watch what I do when I mark you for the extraordinary. The divine overhaul has begun, and this time it is irreversible. I saw you, child. I see you, not the version of you everyone else sees, not the polished version, not the strong face you put on for the world. I see the raw places. I see the quiet cries behind closed doors. The aching prayers whispered in rooms that never echoed back. I see the mornings you got up with a smile no one knew was stretched thin over sorrow. I see the nights you collapsed into a pillow stained with dreams that felt like they had died too young. You have been holding on with fingers bloodied by the effort, holding on to hope that seemed too slippery to grasp. And yet you never let go. When others gave up, you stayed. When others shouted for relief, you whispered for strength. Your faith didn't roar, it bled. And child, I was there when it bled. I watched you reach for me in the dark, not knowing if I would reach back, and I did. Every time, even when you couldn't feel it, even when you questioned whether your prayers reached past the ceiling, they did. They pierced heaven like lightning, and I have stored every syllable. You see, I count differently than the world. The world counts victories by volume, but I count value by faithfulness. And what you gave me in your pain, in your perseverance, in your uncelebrated endurance, it was precious, more precious than gold refined in fire. You thought no one noticed how hard it was to keep believing. But heaven revered your quiet yes. The angels stood in awe every time you chose to trust again, even when the evidence mocked you. And now, my beloved, I am stepping in. Not because you screamed loud enough, but because your silence carried the sound of surrender. You have been standing at the edge, but not the edge of destruction, and no, not the edge of failure. You are at the edge of fulfillment. This is the divine threshold where the things I spoke in secret begin to echo in public. You have been prepared in private, and now I am pulling back the curtain. You will not leave this edge empty-handed. I am not letting you fall. I am lifting you into the fulfillment your soul has longed for. Let me tell you this, the enemy thought you would break. He saw your tired eyes and thought the next storm would shatter you. But what he didn't see was me standing behind the veil, sustaining you with supernatural strength. You were never as alone as you felt. I was the stillness in your shaking. I was the whisper in your worry. I was the hand beneath your fall. You survived not because you were strong, but because I never let go. And now I am not just keeping you, I am crowning you. I am calling you forward. I am stepping in with precision, with fire, with force, and with tenderness. The fulfillment will not be subtle. It will speak. It will shout louder than every lie you ever believed about yourself. And those who thought you were forgotten will witness what favor looks like when it has been hidden for holy timing. The edge you are on is not a cliff, it is a launch pad. You are not about to fall, you are about to fly. I didn't bring you this far to leave you hanging in suspense. I brought you here to witness the unveiling. What is coming will not just satisfy your soul, it will shock your story. Prepare your heart. I am stepping in, and this time, you won't have to wonder if it is me because it will be unmistakable. My child, let me reveal what heaven has been holding back until your spirit was ready to carry the truth without crumbling. The delay that has haunted your prayers, the waiting that wrapped around your dreams like winter around a fragile seed, it was never my rejection. It was my refinement. You mistook my silence for denial. But silence is not the same as absence. And delay is not denial, it is a divine disguise. Behind what looked like divine distance was a furnace, sacred, holy, intentional, where I was shaping you to become a vessel strong enough to carry the weight of what I have been preparing. The pressure that wrapped itself around you, that pushed tears from your eyes and groans from your chest, that pressure was not sent to punish you, but to prepare you. You felt pressed, yes, but pressed like oil from olives, not like punishment from judgment. This pressure was divine proof of promise. You see, I never give glory to a vessel that will crack under its weight. I never pour favor into a container that hasn't been fired in the kiln of perseverance. What I am about to release over your life cannot be carried with casual faith or half-hearted surrender. And so I allowed, yes, allowed, the tension, the trials, and the trembling. I watched as you stretched, strained, and sometimes silently screamed. Not because I was cruel, but because I was crafting. I was crafting resilience into your ribs. I was stitching strength into your spirit. I was anchoring endurance into your essence. Every delay was a layer of foundation. Every unanswered prayer was another brick in the house I was building for the promise. And what you didn't see was that the longer the delay, the deeper the roots, because I knew the storm your blessing would attract. I knew the attention your favor would draw, and I would never hand you something sacred without first giving you the internal architecture to sustain it. Now the time has come to peel back the disguise. What you thought was delay was actually divine choreography. I was synchronizing your story with heaven's timeline. I was interweaving your preparation with the precise moment when the blessing would not just arrive, but fit. What I am about to pour out is too heavy for shallow soil. That is why I deepened you. You may not have seen growth on the surface, but underneath, my hand was stretching your capacity. I needed you to be more than ready. I needed you to be reliable. I wasn't just looking for a receiver, I was forming a steward. Someone who wouldn't just celebrate the breakthrough, but carry it with reverence. You have been asking me for more. But child, what you called more, I call magnitude. And magnitude must be matched by maturity. I delayed the release because I refused to give you something your heart wasn't healed enough to hold. But now, I see it. You are ready, so I say to you now with the gravity of a holy promise, prepare. The delay is lifting, the pressure is shifting, the disguise is dissolving, and what is emerging will be worth every silent night, every tear-stained pillow, and every moment you questioned whether I forgot. I didn't forget, I was forming, and now the time of fulfillment has come. My precious one, let me uncover what logic could never comprehend. Every no you faced wasn't rejection, it was redirection. Every closed door that made you feel locked out was actually me locking in the promise until it could be unveiled without contamination. Every twist in your timeline, every delay that made your heart sink with confusion, every sudden route that made no earthly sense, all of it was divine staging. I was not leaving you behind. I was preparing the scene. And not just any scene, a miracle moment. A divine unveiling so saturated in my fingerprints that when it arrives, logic will be left breathless and reason will be stunned into silence. You were never walking through random chaos. You were walking through prophetic choreography. I have been behind the curtain, orchestrating the cast of characters, rearranging circumstances, and even closing doors you begged me to open, not to harm you, but to help the miracle make sense. Some blessings require perfect timing. Some promises need certain people not to be present when they arrive. Some breakthroughs demand the silence of misunderstanding so that when I unveil the blessing, there is no question who the author was. And that is why the timing felt off. That is why the route felt strange. Because I wasn't building the story according to human expectations. I was crafting a miracle that could never be traced back to your efforts, only to my extravagant love. Think about it, child. If I had said yes when you asked me to, it would have felt logical, but it wouldn't have been lasting. If I had allowed that relationship, that deal, or that opportunity to go through, it would have satisfied your moment, but sabotaged your destiny. I had to say no, not to you, but for you, because I saw what you couldn't. I saw what was attached to that open door. I saw the motives of hearts hidden behind the handshake. I saw the inner war of people who smiled in public but were infected with spiritual sabotage. And I spared you quietly, repeatedly, mercifully. I saved you from your own ambition, not to punish you, but to protect your purpose. And though it hurt, though it stung, though you wondered why I didn't intervene the way you wanted me to, now I am showing you why. Because the miracle I have been forming doesn't fit in logic's framework. It doesn't bow to timelines or expectations. It is not a response, it is a revelation. When it unfolds, it will break patterns. It will bypass ladders. It will confound calculations. You will find yourself in rooms you never applied for. You will be called by name in places your feet have never touched. Not because you networked correctly, but because I networked heaven and earth to align with your calling. That is what miracles do. They disrupt, they dismantle, I deliver. And child, Your miracle is near. Very near. So near, in fact, that I had to speak to you now in this moment before it arrives so you would recognize it when it does. So hear me clearly. Don't resent the closed doors. Don't mourn the numbers. Don't try to reverse what I have already redeemed. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are on the edge of something that no formula can fabricate. I didn't just set the stage, I wrote the script. And what is coming next isn't a chance event. It is a divine demonstration. The curtain is rising. The lights are shifting. And the miracle is about to step into your reality, not someday, not eventually, but in my perfect time. My child, this moment is more than a passing second. It is a sacred signal. A divine countdown has reached 0. And heaven's hands are already releasing what I refused to give you prematurely. This is not happenstance. This is not random. This is the minute marked in eternity. The very second coded into the blueprint of your existence. I want you to feel the tremble beneath your spirit because time as you have known it has shifted. You have been living in human time, but I am pulling you into Kairos, a heavenly alignment where the eternal collides with the now. And child, this is that moment. Everything you have survived, every tear you have sown, every quiet choice to remain faithful when your heart was breaking, it has all brought you to this divine brink. The countdown has concluded and the hour has come. You have been walking through days feeling like time was working against you. You have stared at clocks that seemed to mock your progress. You have looked at calendars and wondered if too much had passed, if you missed it, or if maybe you had been overlooked. But I have been counting not in minutes, but in milestones. I have been tracking not your failures, but your faith. And now, my child, the divine clock has struck. I didn't speed up because of urgency. I delayed out of mercy. I delayed because what I have preserved for you is precious. It is not just a breakthrough, it is a blueprint. It is not just a blessing, it is a baton of authority. And I could not release it until I knew you were ready to carry it with reverence, not just excitement. This countdown wasn't toward chaos. It was toward commission. You were being sent into something that has waited its entire life to meet you. Do you understand what I am saying? What I am releasing now has been growing in the dark, untouched by man, protected by angels, watched over by my spirit, waiting to bloom in the light of your surrender. So many things around you have tried to convince you that this is ordinary. But heaven is not casual about this hour. The atmosphere is responding to me. The air is pregnant with purpose. The realm you cannot see is vibrating with momentum. This moment is not made of seconds, it is made of significance. I timed this on purpose. I waited even when you wept. I held it back even when you begged. Not because I wasn't listening, but because I was aligning everything so perfectly that when it arrives, it cannot be reversed. And now that the countdown is complete, I am not coming slowly. I am not tiptoeing into your story. I am stepping in with speed. The floodgates are opening. The release will be rapid. Things you thought would take years will begin to move in days. Rooms you didn't even apply to will request your presence. Conversations you have been praying for will find their way to your name. And the reason, the only reason, will be because I said now. Because the hour struck. Because the clock in heaven declared it is time. So don't look back. Don't second guess this moment. Don't dilute the divine by trying to measure it with logic. This is not a moment to explain. It is a moment to embrace. The heavens have spoken. The countdown has ended. The release has begun. Child, lean in. This next moment is sacred. What I am doing in your life, what is being birthed even now, will not mirror the past. It won't resemble it. It won't even rhyme with it. Because this isn't a repeat. This isn't a remix. This is rebirth. And yes, I saw the seasons where you felt like you were drowning in detours. I saw the battles that made you doubt your calling. But hear me, nothing was wasted. Not one step, not one sigh, not one sleepless night. I have been collecting every fragmented moment, every broken piece, and every wordless ache, not to restore what you lost, but to resurrect what was waiting. And child, what is coming cannot be compared to anything behind you. I know you have tried to make sense of the now by measuring it against the then. I know you have tried to prepare your heart by predicting my move based on what you have already seen. But I need you to release that, let it go, because what I am preparing will not come wrapped in what is familiar. It will not walk in wearing the costume of the past. No, beloved, it will come like lightning. It will break patterns. It will bend expectations. The past was a place of pruning. But this is a place of presentation. I am presenting a version of your story so radically different, so radiantly divine, that even your past pain will bow its head in awe. I am not repeating, I am revealing. I am not recycling, I am resurrecting. You have known struggle, now you will know suddenness. You walked with wounds, now you will walk in wonder. The enemy would love for you to frame the future through the failures of yesterday. But I am destroying every familiar frame. I am enlarging the canvas. I am painting in colors you have never dreamed of. You are walking into an original outpouring, something that doesn't fit into history's mold or religion's box. I am doing a new thing, not just new in timing, but new in texture. It will feel unfamiliar, but that doesn't mean it is unsafe. It means you are in the right place. Because faith does not follow footprints, it follows fire. And I am leading you with holy flame into territory untouched. You will not recognize the scenery, but you will know it is me. You will feel it in the air. The oxygen of heaven will be different in this space, thicker, deeper, purer. This is your new beginning, not based on starting over, but on stepping up. So do not fear when you can't predict what is coming. Do not shrink when it doesn't look like what you are used to. Remember, I am not asking you to trust what you see. I am asking you to trust who I am. The past was your proving ground, but this is your promised land, and it will not be haunted by yesterday's ghosts. It will not be shaped by what hurt you. This ground is not familiar, it is fertile. It has been waiting for the soles of your feet and the sound of your surrender. And now that you have made it this far, you will see what you have never seen. I promise you, what I am about to do will not resemble anything from before. Because what you are walking into is not a reflection of your past. It is the revelation of my glory. My precious child, I want you to pause and listen to me with your full heart. Because what I am about to say, no one else saw but me. I saw the weight pressing against your chest, the fog that sat on your mornings, the invisible war that waged in your mind while your lips kept whispering hope. The heaviness didn't come to visit, it tried to take up residence. It tried to build its house beside your heartbeat, but still, you hoped. Still, you chose to breathe deeply, even when the air felt thick with disappointment. You chose to believe that somehow, somewhere, I was still working. And child, that decision didn't go unnoticed. It echoed in heaven like thunder. That soft, silent faith, the kind that doesn't scream but simply stays, is what I honor the most. You see, the world celebrates loud faith, public victories, and shouted declarations, but I watch for still loyalty. I listen for the faint murmur of belief that dares to keep going in the dark. You had every reason to give up. You could have let hope dissolve into bitterness. You could have chosen numbness. But instead, you chose me. Not with fireworks, but with faith that flickered like a candle in the wind and still refused to go out. You whispered to me in rooms where no one was watching. You lifted your hands when the weight should have kept them down. You spoke my name when silence wrapped itself around your soul. And beloved, that is what made the heavens stand still. That is what stirred my throne. Not perfection, but perseverance. That unseen perseverance, The kind that feels like dragging your soul uphill through fire and fog, was not just noticed, it was recorded. Every silent yes, every cracked hallelujah, every tear soaked. I trust you. When nothing changed, I bottled them all. I wrapped them in eternal memory. And now, I am moving. Not because you forced me, not because you figured out the formula, but because you remained. The blessing I am sending isn't a reward for performance. It is a response to your heart's resilience. You endured. You resisted the urge to disconnect. You pushed through the pressure, and now I am releasing what your heart hoped for when no one else understood why you still believed. Heaven doesn't just honor loud praise, he honors loyal presence. And my child, you stayed present. That is why I am now stepping in. Not quietly, but completely. And let me say this, what you are about to receive will reflect the hope that lived inside you even when everything else felt like it died. You will recognize it by the way your spirit leaps, by the way your tears shift from ache to awe. I am not just rewarding faith, I am revealing favor. The kind that grows in secret and erupts in the open. You thought I was far, but I was sitting with you closer than breath, watching the flame of hope flicker and guarding it with my hands. You didn't see me, but I never stopped seeing you. And now I am about to honor what you kept believing for in the dark with a miracle that everyone will see in the light. My beloved, let's set the record straight. I did not come to make your life easier. I came to make it eternal. I did not step into your story to decorate what already exists. I came to detonate what limits you, to disrupt what dulled you, and to ignite what I planted in you before the world taught you to shrink. My presence does not arrive to pamper your comfort zones. It arrives to provoke your calling. I will not let you settle for a life of slow decay just because it feels familiar. I didn't design you for safety, I destined you for significance. And sometimes, child, that means shaking everything that is stagnant. Not to punish you, but to pull you out of the shallow end and into the depth of who you really are. I love you too much to leave you where it is convenient. I love you enough to disturb everything that has lulled you into spiritual sleep. You have been praying for clarity, but I am bringing combustion. I am setting fire to the fear that has been masquerading as wisdom. I am blowing up the boxes that people tried to stuff your potential into. And I am calling you out, not with shame, but with holy force. You were never created to be hidden behind insecurity or buried beneath self-doubt. I placed power in your voice, fire in your bones, and strategy in your soul. But comfort has tried to seduce you into staying small. And I am saying no. I am saying rise, not because it is easy, but because it is time. What I am about to release will not soothe your comfort, it will confront it. It will stretch your boundaries. It will disrupt your plans. But it will awaken your purpose. I didn't come to upgrade your situation. I came to unlock your assignment. I am not adjusting your life. I am activating your legacy. Child, there are things inside you that I have waited years to ignite. Not because I was delaying, but because I was waiting for the fire to meet the fuel. And now, your yes has struck the match. Your surrender has lit the fuse. What is about to explode will send shockwaves through your identity, through your community, and through your spiritual history. You have asked me to do a new thing. But new doesn't arrive dressed in old comfort. New comes as holy interruption, and that is exactly what this is. So do not be afraid when things begin to shake. That is me. Don't resist the pull toward the unfamiliar. That is me. Don't grieve the things I remove. I am making room. I am not remodeling. I am rebuilding. I am not adjusting. I am anointing. And what is coming next will not only wake up your calling, it will set it ablaze. People will look at you and say, "What happened to them?" And the answer will be simple. I showed up. And I didn't come to decorate. I came to detonate. Get ready, beloved. Your future is about to catch fire. Child, get ready to be overwhelmed, not by worry, but by wonder. For too long, you have been receiving in pieces. A glimpse here, a glimmer there, one answered prayer followed by another delay. But I want you to hear me now and hear me clearly. The season is shifting. I am not answering in fragments anymore. I am not sending scattered signals or staggered steps. I am delivering all at once. Not drips, but a downpour. Not hints, but heaven's full release. You have waded through the partial to be trusted with the pattern. And now that the timing is right, I am not just giving you one door. I am giving you the hallway, the blueprint, the keys, the favor, the alignment, the strategy, all of it, all at once. You have been trained by the past to expect slow movement, to anticipate delay, to wait for doors to open one at a time. But child, when I shift suddenly. When I move, I multiply. This is divine acceleration. What should take a decade will collapse into a moment. What you thought you would have to beg for, I am now handing to you unannounced. Not because you forced it, but because you stood through it. This kind of release cannot be manufactured. It can only be inherited by those who remain faithful when it felt foolish. You are that one, and because of that, I am not sending one blessing, one yes, or one confirmation. I am orchestrating a collision of answers, a divine convergence, a spiritual domino effect. You will see one thing fall into place, then another, until you are standing in the middle of everything you once wept for. This is why it had to take time. Because this isn't small, this isn't simple, this is significant. What I am releasing isn't just a breakthrough, it is a building plan. You are going to find yourself walking into meetings you didn't ask for, receiving messages from people you haven't spoken to in years, and watching strangers speak your name in rooms you have never entered. And behind it all, you will sense me moving the pieces, connecting the dots, pushing open doors so quickly that you won't have time to question, only to walk. Don't shrink back. Don't question if you are worthy. You are not here because of your perfection. You are here because of your positioning. You remained under the weight of silence, and now the sky is splitting. So be ready. Keep your heart unguarded before me and your hands open wide, because I am not just giving you something to celebrate. I am handing you something to carry. It is big, it is holy, it is heavy with glory, and it is yours. The blueprint will unfold step by step, but the release will come all at once. Trust me, the wait was not wasted. I wasn't just preparing what to give you. I was preparing you to receive it. My beloved, let me shift your perspective. You have been sensing the pressure, the speed, the overwhelming intensity of this moment, and your first instinct has been to brace yourself as if for impact. But hear me, this emergency is not an alarm of disaster. It is an announcement of destiny. You are not being warned of something going wrong. You are being summoned because everything is about to go right. This urgency you feel isn't panic, it is prophetic. It is the pulse of promise moving closer, closer than your breath, closer than your fears. I am not pulling you apart. I am pulling you together, aligning every fractured piece, every scattered dream, every delayed step. All of it is clicking into place, and I need your heart awake for it. You confuse the shaking with breaking, but it is not. The ground beneath you isn't falling apart. It is shifting into position. You are standing in the epicenter of divine alignment, where every promise I spoke over your life is now converging. That is why it feels uncomfortable. Alignment stretches, it presses, it confronts everything that is out of sync. But do not be afraid. I am not punishing you. I am positioning you. I am not dismantling you. I am developing you. This emergency isn't about evacuating anything. It is about entering everything. This is not a call to retreat. It is a rallying cry to rise. For too long, you have walked with destiny, trying to find its rhythm in a world that only recognized routine. But I am shifting the rhythm now. Your spirit has felt the beat changing, and you didn't know what to call it. Let me tell you, it is fulfillment. This is what prophecy feels like when it begins to manifest. It stirs the soul. It shakes the surroundings. It silences the old sound so that something new can rise. What feels like pressure is actually precision. I am carving a straight path through every place where confusion tried to multiply, and I am doing it quickly. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. Because the time has come, and when destiny is ready, it does not wait. You have prayed for this moment without knowing what it would feel like. You imagined joy but forgot the weight of realignment. But I am telling you now, don't confuse discomfort with danger. This is not a season of survival. It is a season of sacred synchronization. The winds are changing, not to destroy your plans, but to deliver my promise. So do not resist the pull. Do not push against the pressure. Lean into the shift. Trust what I am doing even when it feels like too much. Because this is divine design. The emergency is not to scare you. It is to summon you, to wake you up to what I have been building all along. You are not late. You are not lost. You are not being unraveled. You are being unveiled. Beloved, I saw you. I watched as your heart broke under the weight of what you couldn't explain. I listened to your cries in the darkness, not because you lacked faith, but because you were faithful in a season that made no sense. I heard the unspoken questions buried beneath your prayers. Why this path? Why this pain? Why now? And though I didn't always answer right away, I treasured every tear. Not one of them fell without purpose. Each drop was a silent seed planted not in punishment but in preparation. The seasons you mourned, the months, even years of confusion were not a detour. They were a divine classroom. And though you didn't understand it then, you are about to see it now. You see, my child, the season that made you weep was also the season that made you deep. You were growing roots while you thought you were falling apart. You were being fortified in silence. I hid you in what felt like obscurity, not to forget you, but to form you. I allowed mystery to become your environment so that revelation could become your inheritance. And now that inheritance is here. What once made no sense will now shine with clarity. The pain will connect to purpose. The losses will line up with the lessons. The nights of anguish will become the doorway into mornings of awareness. This is not just a change of circumstance. It is a reframing of history. I am redeeming your understanding, rewriting how you remember the wilderness, not as a place where I abandoned you, but as the very womb where I anointed you. There is a holy unveiling that is about to happen, not just in what I do around you, but in what I reveal to you. You will walk into rooms you once entered with confusion, and suddenly clarity will rest on you like a crown. Your eyes will see what your tears once blinded. I am not just giving you answers. I am giving you understanding. The deep, sacred kind that doesn't come from explanation, but from encounter. I am not handing you a spreadsheet of reasons. I am walking you into a revelation of relationship. And when you look back, you won't resent the process. You will reverence it because you will realize that what felt like silence was actually my spirit sculpting something sacred within you. And the delay, it wasn't punishment. It was protection. It was me ensuring that the right version of you would emerge for the right moment. So now walk boldly into the revelation. Let me open your eyes to the why behind the wait. You don't have to question anymore. You don't have to relive the confusion. Let me redeem it. Let me reframe it. Let me show you how all of it, every second, was sovereign. What you are about to receive isn't just a blessing. It is the backstory to your breakthrough. And you will weep again. Not from sorrow, but from the sweetness of seeing what I was doing all along. You have just crossed a revelation. Now I invite you to take part in the release. Just as I am changing everything in your life, I am calling you to help me change everything in someone else's. My word doesn't return void, but it flows on the wings of your obedience. Your seed becomes a river of truth to those crying out in the wilderness. This moment is holy. You are the vessel, and this channel is my altar. As it is written, those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. When you give through super thanks, membership, or PayPal, you are not tipping a message, you are tithing into a movement. I will multiply your offering, protect your house, and cause new oil to flow where drought once ruled. Give now and watch me mark your sacrifice with supernatural evidence. My beloved, don't look for the thunder this time. Don't wait for the shaking of the ground or the fire from the sky. The shift I am bringing will not shout. It will speak. It will come with clarity so pure, so piercing that it will silence every other voice that tried to write your story. This is not the kind of moment that crashes in. It whispers in. It comes like stillness after a storm, like light breaking gently through the fog. What you have been searching for in noise, you will find in knowing. And that knowing will come from one whisper, one breath from my spirit that will cut through years of confusion like a sword of light through shadow. I do not need volume to validate my voice. And in this next move, you will know it is me because of the stillness, not the spectacle. You have been surrounded by so many opinions. You have carried the weight of other people's assumptions. You have tried to make sense of prophecies and expectations and timelines that didn't match your heart's cry. But now, I am silencing the crowd, not with anger, but with authority. I am removing the noise so you can hear the needle drop of destiny. I am quieting the chaos so you can finally hear your own yes echo back with confidence. And then, in that moment of whispered obedience, I will open doors that no man could ever place your name on. Rooms that never had you on the guest list will call for you by divine appointment. Not because you forced your way in, but because I spoke your name in the halls of heaven. And heaven responded with keys. This is how I move in the lives of those I trust. Not always with a parade, but with precision, not with hype, but with holiness. And because you have learned to lean in, to listen in the tension, to pause when others rushed, to trust the small nudges, now I will reward that stillness with sudden access. I am releasing silent authority, the kind of favor that walks in quietly and shifts the entire atmosphere without having to explain itself. And when people ask, "How did you get here?" you will only have one answer: I obeyed the whisper. That is all it takes. Not a platform, not a performance, just pure obedience rooted in presence. So don't wait for the noise. Don't seek validation from volume. What I am about to do in your life will be so divinely targeted, so supernaturally strategic that it will bypass noise altogether. It will come like breath, but carrying the weight of a breakthrough. You won't need to defend it. You won't need to decode it. It will be undeniable. All it takes is one whisper, one yes, one still moment of surrender. And in that moment, I will usher you into places no resume could open. It is still, child. I am about to speak. And when I do, everything will shift. My precious child, I hear your cry. I feel the weight in your voice when you say, "God, change my life." Open the doors. Remove the barriers. Break the cycle. I have caught every syllable and cradled every prayer. But now I must tell you a holy secret. The real shift isn't what happens to your life. The real shift begins when I change you. Because when you are transformed, when your identity awakens, when your vision clears, when your soul sheds the weight of what was never yours to carry, then everything around you has no choice but to bow to the new version of who I made you to be. I don't bless shells, I bless substance. And what I am shifting now isn't just your environment. It is your essence. You see, you have been measuring your life by external markers. How much has changed? How far you have come? What doors are still closed? But I have been measuring something deeper. What has awakened inside of you? Have you noticed it? A tug in your spirit, that refusal to stay numb. That stirring in the night when something holy rises in you and says, "This can't be all there is." That is me. That is heaven's hand peeling back the layers you have worn for survival so I can reveal the version of you that was always there. The one who walks in confidence, not confusion. The one who hears my voice and moves with fire. The one who doesn't beg for approval because they already carry authority. Yes, child, I am changing your internal landscape before I rearrange your external one. And here is what is divine about that process. When the shift happens inside, everything else starts shifting without your effort. People will treat you differently without knowing why. Opportunities will align because your frequency changed. Environments that once drained you will now repel you, not because you forced it, but because you outgrew it. This is what happens when I transform the interior. It creates external aftershocks, and what you once chased will now find you. Not because you worked harder, but because you became clearer. Do you feel it? I am not simply improving your life. I am reintroducing you to you. The version of you who isn't shaped by shame. The one who walks with me, hears me, and believes me. So yes, I will change your life. But not through superficial fixes. I am changing you. I am lighting a fire in your spirit that won't go out. And when you change, beloved, your life will follow. Not gradually, but gloriously. What you tried to rearrange from the outside, I will now transform from within. My child, let me speak directly and lovingly into the quiet corners of your soul. The ones where you settled, not because you were lazy, but because you were tired. I saw it. I saw the places where hope used to live but slowly began to shrink. I saw where belief used to burn bright, but hardship turned it into embers. I watched you adapt. I watched you lower your expectations just to avoid disappointment. You didn't say it out loud, but you told yourself, maybe this is all there is. Maybe I should just focus on surviving. And while the world may have applauded your strength, I saw the silent agreements you made with fear. But today I am interrupting those agreements. Today I am standing at the edge of that quiet resignation and I am saying, come out. You were not born to survive. You were born to reign. I did not place my spirit in you so that you could merely endure. I placed my fire in you so you could govern territory. The enemy tried to shrink your reach by exhausting your hope. He didn't need to destroy you. He only needed to convince you to stop reaching. But now I am reaching for you. This is your exodus out of survival. This is your release from the prison of just getting by. I am breaking the lie that says you will always be behind. I am dismantling the mindset that told you to be grateful for crumbs when I designed you for inheritance. You were not made for the margins. You were made for the mountains. And child, I know what it took for you to get here. The cost, the endurance, the unseen battles. I do not shame you for surviving. I honor it, but I will not allow you to stay there because survival was only meant to be temporary. It was the bridge, not the destination. Now I am calling you into authority, into voice, into visibility, into victory. I want you to walk with your head held high, not out of pride, but out of promise. The kind of confidence that comes from knowing, God called me out. God anointed me for more, and I will no longer apologize for existing. Yes, that shift is beginning now. Heaven is commissioning you, not just to dream again, but to declare again. So rise, child, come out of the shadows. Shake off the numbness. I am not just healing your hope. I am restoring your identity. The version of you that only knew how to survive is being put to rest. The version I originally formed, bold, beloved, bursting with heaven's breath, is rising. And with it comes authority. Authority to speak, to break cycles, to call down heaven, to change atmospheres. You don't have to figure it all out. Just answer this call. Step out of the survival shell. Step into the authority I placed on you from the beginning. This is not the end. It is the entrance to the era you were always meant to carry. My child, I know how many times you have looked at the clock and felt panic rise in your chest. You measured yourself against milestones, watched others pass you by, and silently wondered, did I miss it? Did I wait too long? Did I waste my moment? You have been running, not toward destiny, but away from delay, trying to outrun the feeling that time has slipped through your fingers. But I need you to hear me now. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are exactly where I have designed you to be. You have been operating on Earth's calendar, but I have you positioned on heaven's clock. And I do not operate in panic. I operate in precision. What looks like delay to you is actually designed from me. I have been withholding certain things, not because you weren't worthy, but because what I am about to release must meet the right moment in the right environment with the right maturity inside you. If I had released it earlier, it would have been mishandled. It would have drawn the wrong people, opened the wrong doors, or planted seeds in soil that wasn't ready to hold them. I wasn't protecting your comfort. I was protecting your calling. I wasn't slowing down your dreams. I was synchronizing them with a destiny bigger than what you could imagine on your own. I wasn't being silent to ignore you. I was being still to prepare you. I was getting everything else in position so that when the release came, it would be unstoppable. You have been carrying unnecessary guilt, like you were somehow to blame for the slow unfolding of the promise. But child, stop measuring time with fear. Start measuring it with faith. I don't miss appointments. I don't forget assignments. I don't reschedule breakthroughs without reason. What I have spoken over you is not just a hope. It is a heavenly mandate. And mandates do not expire because of earthly pressure. They only grow in power until the moment of release. You are standing at the edge of that moment. And though it may not look like it yet, the timing is about to make perfect sense. You will look back soon and say, oh, that is why it had to take this long. So breathe. Don't rush. Don't compare. You are not running out of time. You are walking into the fullness of it. I have hidden you for a season, not to shelf you, but to shield you. The moment of emergence is not random. It is orchestrated, and now the time is near. The delay is no longer a waiting room. It is a launching pad. I have been building you in secret, and now I am about to unveil you with power. Get ready, because when my clock strikes, nothing and no one can hold back what I have ordained for you. My beloved, there are places in your heart that you have buried quietly, solemnly, and with deep sorrow. Dreams you once held close, hopes that once lit your mornings, visions that made your spirit leap until they were dashed, delayed, or disappeared. You didn't stop loving me, but somewhere along the line, you stopped believing that part of your life could ever be revived. You built memorials around moments of disappointment. You folded those dreams and placed them in spiritual drawers labeled, maybe not for me. And yet I have never stopped hovering over them. I have never stopped remembering what you gave up on. And now I declare to you, I am not just restoring what was lost. I am resurrecting what you buried. This is not restoration in the shallow sense. This is not me handing back what was taken and leaving you to make sense of it. This is resurrection power at work. This is Ezekiel's valley where what looked hopeless, dry, lifeless, and forgotten begins to rattle with divine movement. What you thought was over will live again. The ideas, the relationships, the visions, the ministries, the joy, yes, even the joy that you buried because of pain, betrayal, or timing, are being called forth by my voice. I am standing at the tomb of what you thought had expired. And I am saying, come forth, not because you asked, but because I never forgot. And here is the miracle within the miracle. What I raise will not look like what died. It will be stronger, purified, more powerful. When Lazarus came out, he was still wrapped in grave clothes, but the proof of resurrection was undeniable. What is coming back in your life may still carry traces of the process, but the power will be unmistakable. You will see things rise up that no human could have revived. Doors will open that no strategy could have created. Connections will re-emerge that had no reason to return. And yet they will, not because of chance, but because I have spoken. And when I speak, dead things move. So don't just expect to be restored. Expect to be resurrected. Expect me to breathe into the places you forgot existed. Expect your heart to feel again, your spirit to dance again, your eyes to see again. This is not the end of a story. It is the return of the promise. You thought you would never feel that fire again, but I am sending it back hotter, holier, and more focused than before. What is about to rise in your life will not be a repeat. It will be a resurrected rebirth. Watch me do what only I can do. And when I do, you will say with trembling lips and joyful tears, only God could have brought this back. My beloved, there are things on the horizon that will stretch you. Not because they are dangerous, but because they are divine. What I am about to lead you into won't always make sense on paper. It won't always align with what logic tells you is possible. But I need you to trust me in this. Not casually, not occasionally, but completely. I am not asking you to understand everything. I am asking you to obey me through anything. I am not building your future on formulas. I am building it on faith. And faith doesn't grow in the comfort of certainty. It grows in the mystery of movement. When you walk, even when you don't see the next step. When you obey, even when you don't understand the outcome. When you say yes before you know the how. You have spent so much of your energy trying to connect dots I never asked you to connect. Trying to decode what was never meant to be explained, only experienced. You prayed for clarity, but I am offering something higher, confidence in me. Because sometimes clarity is delayed to develop deeper trust. And child, the truth is this. Your destiny will not be unlocked by intellect, but by intimacy. The more closely you walk with me, the less you will need all the answers because you will realize you already have the answer. And I am He. I am not calling you into chaos. I am calling you into consecration, into a space where you move at the sound of my whisper, where you follow not because you understand everything, but because you know my voice. Obedience is not about perfection. It is about posture. I don't expect you to always feel brave. I just ask you to be available. In this precise moment of availability, I am pouring out grace, insight, and strength for everything you need, moment by moment. You do not have to map the journey because I already own the map. You do not have to control the outcome because I am the outcome. This next season of your life will not be built by your control. It will be built by your trust. And real trust means stepping into the unknown with a peace that passes all understanding simply because you have placed your hand in mine. So come to me not with all the answers, but with an anchored yes. I promise you this, if you walk with me, I will show you things no logic could ever unlock. I will open what you could not force, and I will whisper what no book can teach. Your trust is the key, and your obedience is the oil. Pour it out even when it doesn't make sense, and watch me ignite fires that human logic could never spark. I am leading, and I know exactly where we are going. You do not have to understand the destination to move forward. You just have to say yes, my child. Can you feel it? The air around you is different. Things that used to feel familiar now feel foreign, and spaces that once fed you no longer fill you. People who once understood your language seem confused by your silence. That is not accidental, that is alignment. You have changed, you have shifted, you have been stretched, pressed, and refined, and the internal work has now reached a critical mass. Heaven is responding. The atmosphere is shifting not because something around you changed first, but because something inside you did. Your obedience in secret has now released favor in the open. and your inner transformation has triggered a new level of spiritual access. You are not the same person who started this journey. You have learned to let go of what you thought you needed, surrendered what you once clung to, broken patterns, buried pride, and wrestled in prayer only to come out bruised but blessed. Now, the heavens are announcing a shift, not just in circumstances, but in clearance. You now have access to rooms your former self could not enter. Doors that were once closed are responding to the version of you that carries weight, maturity, and a mantle. This is not just personal growth, this is divine advancement. The shift in the atmosphere is the echo of the shift in your identity. And child, I want you to know you didn't miss it. You didn't fall behind. What you thought was delay was actually deep work, and that deep work has positioned you for swift movement. You are not just stepping into favor, you are stepping into fulfillment. The promises that once felt far off are now within arm's reach, not because I finally remembered, but because you finally realigned. The frequency of your soul now matches the rhythm of heaven. That is why doors are creaking open, conversations are shifting, and favor is flowing. You didn't force the shift, you became it. Do not second-guess this moment. Walk in it with holy boldness. When people ask what changed, you will know the truth. I did. You stopped surviving and started surrendering. You stopped performing and started trusting. You stopped holding back and started obeying, and heaven took notice. Now the atmosphere is making room. You are not stepping into something new because you waited long enough. You are stepping into something new because you became someone new. Walk forward. This access is not temporary, it is territorial. What changed inside you has changed what is available to you forever. My precious child, I know how real this trembling feels. It isn't fear, and it isn't doubt, it is a divine stirring. When your bones feel it, don't shrink back. It is not because the ground is unstable, it is because heaven is invading. What is happening inside your spirit is the breath of my presence drawing near, and your body cannot hold still under the weight of it. This tremor is not chaos, it is confirmation. It is confirmation that I am not just watching, but moving. I am not just whispering, I am activating. Every fiber of you feels the tremor because you are made of promise, and promise doesn't stay silent. What you are feeling is my voice echoing into your bones. The shaking is the rhythm of revelation racing through your marrow. This is how heaven heralds its arrival, through shifts not always seen but deeply felt. Your spirit recognizes this moment because it is attuned to me. It has carried my presence through the wilderness, through the waiting, and through the weariness. That recognition stirs your inner person awake like a temple trembling before a king descends. Do not resist it. A trembling is not a warning to run, it is a beckoning to draw nearer. You will sense my breath not because I tiptoe gently, but because my arrival is unavoidable. I am not subtle, I am sacredly seismic. Trust the tremble. It is your spirit's way of saying, I know the voice I've heard, and he is calling me closer. Do not be unsettled by what you feel, be empowered by it. Because when I move bones, I don't just change posture, I reposition destiny. The tremor under your skin is the prelude to what I am about to release. Your spirit knows it. Now let your body align with that holy quake. My beloved, this moment is an eclipse, not of darkness, but of discovery. The doors that you thought were sealed, barriers you believed were permanent, are now swinging open. Not because you forced your way in, but because I am unlocking what I ordained. You didn't even know some of these doors existed. You didn't have the courage to knock, yet here you are, receiving keys that no human could replicate. These are keys forged in the fires of my favor, engraved with my promise, given to you because you refused to let the locks define your destiny. Imagine entering rooms of influence you never applied to. Imagine recognition from people you never approached. Imagine opportunities that bypass human protocol with your name already inside the walls. That is what I am doing. I am not just unlocking doors. I am opening dimensions. The keys are not made of networking or negotiation. They are made of obedience, of waited for faith, of hidden tears and kept trust. No one else has your keys because no one else has been through what you have. Fidelity in the hidden places carries divine authority in the open ones. These keys are yours by covenant. Once you walk through those doors, everything changes. Doors you thought were locked by lack are now ajar by my design. Access you felt was denied is now appointed. When people ask how you got in, the answer will be, I did not. He did. To take the keys, step into the rooms and walk in with reverence, not arrogance, knowing you belong because I called you, not because you convinced them. This access is not for show, it is a sacred portal to purpose. It will align continents, convene connections, and commission your calling. Step forward, for those doors are unlocked. Your keys are in your hand, and beyond them lies everything I have been holding in secret until now. My precious one, you keep delaying your own arrival, waiting for one more sign, one more confirmation, one more feeling of readiness. But let me speak with clarity, you are ready. Not because you have it all figured out, but because I have finished the forming. You keep looking for something outside of you to give you permission, but I am telling you now, the fire within you is already lit. The process that you thought was punishment was actually preparation. It didn't come wrapped in applause. It came wrapped in absence. You were prepared by what you accumulated, but also by what I stripped away. Every time you let go of something you thought you needed, every time you surrendered, every time you mourned the loss of what didn't fit anymore, that was the curriculum. Those nights when you lay in silence, feeling empty, those were the sacred furnaces of refinement. That heartbreak hollowed you out to hold more of me. That rejection redirected you away from distraction and toward destiny. You were not being dismantled, you were being molded. The absence you feared was abandonment was actually the arena of alignment. You lost weight, emotional, spiritual, relational, and now you are light enough to run into what I have called you to carry. Stop disqualifying yourself because of what you have lost. That loss was sacred. It made room. It made you deeper. It made you dangerous to the darkness. The enemy hoped the loss would paralyze you, but instead, it prepared you. You released what was never supposed to stay. And now there is space for my voice, my breath, my power. You are not a version behind. You are ripe with readiness. What is coming doesn't require you to become someone else. It requires you to realize who you already are in me. So rise now, not with striving, but with stillness. Not with fear, but with fire. You don't have to rehearse anymore. The stage is set. The oil has been poured. The doors are opening. You are not waiting for readiness. Readiness is waiting for you to step in. Heaven is already cheering. The evidence is about to speak. And through your giving, you help me carry that evidence into the lives of those still in darkness. Just as I am about to unleash you, I am also moving through this prophetic voice, this very message, to reach souls whose destinies depend on a word in season. When you sow into this work, yes, through super thanks, membership, or PayPal, you become a messenger alongside me. Your seed carries light. Your generosity becomes manna in someone else's midnight. Remember, child, give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. I have assigned favor to your hands, but now I ask you to stretch them. Partner with me, give now, and I will answer it with divine release. My beloved, I have watched your thoughts in the quiet places. I have seen how your mind builds rooms full of shadows, imaginary situations where everything falls apart. You have called it caution. You have called it discernment. But I must tell you, that isn't wisdom. That is worry dressed up as strategy, and it is time we call it what it is, fear wearing a holy mask. I never called you to live in reaction to fear. I called you to live in response to promise. I am not training you to prepare for collapse. I am positioning you to walk in conquest. What if the next thing that happens is not a setback, but a sudden move forward? What if your nervousness is simply your spirit feeling the trembling of impending victory? You keep rehearsing what could go wrong, but have you paused to imagine what could go right? What if I actually answer every prayer? What if the favor really does fall? What if the connection is divine, the door is real, and the timing is now? Child, I am not teaching you to prepare for disappointment. I am trying to teach you how to hold joy when it finally arrives. You survived so many cycles that your nervous system is wired for defense. You enter blessings bracing for backlash. You receive good news with caution, as if betrayal must be around the corner. But hear me, I am not playing games with you. I am not dangling hope in front of you only to snatch it away. When I say the door is open, I mean it. When I say the season is shifting, it is. You don't have to analyze every angle before you trust what I am doing. I need you to believe again, not vaguely, but viscerally. Let faith live in your bones, not just your brain. Let expectation return, not expectation of pain, but of promise. This is not the hour of collapse. This is the hour of conquest. You are not on the verge of a breakdown. You are on the edge of a breakthrough. And no, it won't make sense at first, but conquest rarely does. The Red Sea didn't make sense. Marching around Jericho didn't make sense. But it worked because it was obedience. This next season will not be one with logic, it will be one with alignment. So silence the inner voice that keeps rehearsing fear. That is not your intuition. That is your past trying to hijack your future. Tell it to go silent, because God is not preparing you to fall. He is preparing you to win. My child, let me relieve your soul of the lie that has haunted you. That nagging whisper that says, it's too late. That exhausting guilt that repeats, you should have moved sooner. That heavy sense of regret that lingers like a shadow at the edge of every opportunity. Listen to me. You did not miss your moment. You didn't forfeit your favor. You didn't fall too far behind. What you call a delay, I call design. What you see as lost time, I see as sacred refinement. You were not being punished. You were being prepared, and not prepared for leftovers, but prepared for the fullness of what I have always had in store for you. This moment didn't require a younger version of you. It required the healed version, the humbled version, the holy version. The version who carries scars with dignity, who prays without performing, who worships without needing an audience. That is the one who is ready. If I had released it earlier, you would have survived it, but you wouldn't have stewarded it. You would have touched the promise but not transformed through it. Because I love you more than you realize, I waited, not for time to pass, but for alignment to happen. You are now aligned with what you couldn't hold before. You are walking into a moment that was always yours, not by force, but by formation. Stop measuring your destiny by a human clock. My kingdom doesn't run on anxiety, it runs on assignment. I do not forget promises. I do not abandon blueprints. The word I whispered over your life didn't dissolve, it has been waiting for you. Not for your perfection, but for your readiness. And child, you are ready. You are ready not because of what you have gained, but because of what you have released. You have let go of timelines, of comparison, of needing everyone to see it before you believe it. That surrender didn't delay you, it delivered you. So now that the moment arrives, don't shrink. Don't apologize for the divine timing that no one else understands. Don't waste energy trying to explain to others how long it took. Just step in. Step in with authority, with joy, with quiet confidence that says, I didn't miss it. I matured into it. This wasn't about racing toward a date on the calendar. This was about becoming the vessel that could carry the glory without breaking under the weight. And now you are that vessel. This is your moment. Not a second too late, not a step too early, perfectly aligned, eternally appointed. My dear one, I would never call you into something I haven't equipped you for. I am not a reckless God. I don't send my children into battles they aren't prepared to win. In this next chapter, the one that feels bigger than you imagined, heavier than you planned for, holier than you have ever walked in before, you are not entering empty. I have armed you with something that flesh and blood cannot offer. I have armed you with power, not the kind that puffs up, but the kind that pierces darkness. You carry authority now, not because you earned it, but because you endured for it. You prayed through fire. You bled through betrayal. You stayed when others left. Every tear was a down payment on the weight of what now rests on your shoulders. You don't just have anointing, you carry presence. And that presence changes everything. It shifts atmospheres before you speak. It silences storms that others can't even see. You walk into rooms and things move, not because of your name, but because of mine. I have placed something in you that makes the enemy nervous. That is why the resistance has been so fierce. That is why the warfare didn't let up, because you are dangerous to hell. This next chapter will reveal the truth. You were never empty, you were entrusted. Entrusted with revelation, entrusted with influence, entrusted with answers that will not just bless you, but bless generations that follow you. I haven't only given you power and presence, I have given you prophetic clarity. The fog that once clouded your vision is lifting. The uncertainty that made you question every step is being replaced with divine knowing. I am sharpening your ears to my voice. I am fine-tuning your discernment. You will see through deception. You will detect divine timing. You will no longer guess, you will go. And when you go, you will go with clarity that cuts through confusion like lightning. That clarity isn't just a gift, it is a weapon. You will need it because where I am taking you, strategy alone won't work, it must be spirit-led. Now you are ready to move not with doubt, but with direction. So walk forward with your head high, not in pride, but in purpose. I am not sending you out bare-handed. I am sending you out armed. You carry my authority. You carry my fire. You carry my wisdom. And when you face what lies ahead, remember I already equipped you for the battle before you ever saw the battlefield. You are more than enough because I am in you. You are fully resourced, fully backed by heaven, fully marked for what is next. So do not fear. This chapter isn't empty, it is explosive. And you will walk through it carrying everything you need to overcome. Overflow and outlast the enemy. My beloved, I know how long you have carried this weight. Not the burden of pride, but the ache of unseen obedience. You have walked quietly in integrity when others chose shortcuts. You have honored me in rooms where compromise was rewarded. You have kept your hands clean and your heart pure, even when it cost you the recognition you longed for. Still, there were moments you wondered, did they even see what I carry? Do they even recognize what you have deposited in me? God, let me answer that now. I saw it. I saw everything. And now the time has come where you won't have to explain it. The evidence will do the speaking for you. You won't need to argue for your position or strive to be validated. You won't have to plead for access or prove your anointing because what I am about to release in and through your life will be undeniable. The doors that open, the favor that flows, the clarity that covers you, they will all carry the fingerprint of heaven. Those who doubted you will be silenced by the fruit, not because you retaliated, but because you remained. The evidence is about to speak louder than the critics. The same mouths that whispered against you will have to watch me bless you. You see, I wasn't withholding visibility from you as punishment. I was protecting your purity. I was keeping you hidden while I matured what I placed inside of you, because elevation without formation is destruction. But now, the formation is complete. The time of hiding is over. The unveiling is beginning. This unveiling is not a performance, it is a proof. The fruit will fall heavy from your life. Fruit you didn't force, fruit that came from seasons of pruning, surrender, and obedience when no one applauded. That fruit will speak. That fire in your words will burn. That oil on your life will shine. You will no longer need to say, "I carry something from God," because it will be obvious. So walk boldly, not in arrogance, but in awareness. The time of trying to convince is over. You don't have to explain your calling anymore, just carry it. And as you do, the evidence will gather behind you like a divine echo. People won't need to ask, "Is God with them?" They will feel it, they will know it, and they will have no choice but to respect what they once dismissed. The evidence will speak, and when it does, let your only response be worship. Because this was never about proving yourself, it was always about me proving my word through you. My child, I know the storm felt cruel. I know you questioned me when the winds blew harder than your prayers. I know you wept in corners no one saw, wondering, "God, where are you in this chaos?" Now I come with clarity. I was not absent in the storm, I was active. I didn't abandon you to the waves. I trained you in the middle of them. Because this storm wasn't sent to destroy you, it was sent to reveal you. To uncover the strength you didn't know you had. To burn away the fear that no longer has permission to stay. To confront enemies that only emerge when winds rise high. See, storms don't create weakness, they reveal capacity. When this storm came, you thought you were drowning. But what you didn't see was that I was teaching you how to breathe underwater. I was stretching your lungs to hold more of my presence. I was enlarging your spirit to carry more weight. I was letting the pressure refine you, not crush you. Now that the waves are settling, you will look around and realize you didn't go under. You grew, you rose. Not only did you survive it, but something inside you awakened, a warrior, a worshiper, a weapon in my hand. Let me say this plainly, that storm also exposed the enemies you no longer need to fear. You faced rejection and didn't fall apart. You faced confusion and still heard my voice. You faced delay and didn't run away. Those things used to intimidate you, now they activate you. Because the storm taught you how to stand still and see my salvation. In doing so, it dismantled every lie that told you, you are not strong enough. You are strong not because of your strength, but because of mine within you. The storm may have shaken your surroundings, but it stabilized your foundation. Now you walk with storm-tested authority. So don't resent the season that almost broke you. It built something inside of you that hell cannot dismantle. The enemies that once loomed large are now exposed for what they are, powerless shadows. And you are still standing, stronger, sanctified. The storm didn't destroy you, it defined you. Now everything ahead of you will have to deal with the version of you that the storm forged, unshakable, anointed, and no longer afraid. My child, the heavens have watched you with bated breath. You didn't know the angels leaned in every time you chose me in the silence, every time you whispered, "Yes," while the fire pressed harder. You didn't know how your faith in the furnace became a fragrance in the throne room. There were days you felt forgotten, days the heat seemed unbearable, days you thought, this has to be the end. But it wasn't the end, it was a refiner's moment. It was the sacred place where your faith was not just tested, it was trusted. And now comes the holy reversal, fruitfulness where there was fire. You didn't get here because you had more answers, you got here because you had more allegiance. While others ran from discomfort, you leaned in. You didn't pretend to be strong. You just refused to quit. That posture. That is why I bless not just performance, but persistence. I bless those who say, "Even if he slays me, yet will I trust him." I bless those who remain rooted when the winds threaten to uproot everything. And child, you remained. You stayed planted when the fire burned hot. You kept watering your field with tears, with prayer, with surrender. And now the seeds buried in ash are about to break the surface. This harvest will not just feed you, it will feed others. What I am about to grow through your life will become nourishment for the ones watching from a distance. They saw your fire, but they will also see your fruit, and it will silence every mocking voice. This is not compensation for your pain. This is commissioning for your perseverance. You are not being rewarded like a servant. You are being entrusted like a son or daughter. What I am placing in your hands is legacy level. You didn't just survive the heat. You stewarded the holy, and heaven remembers. So go ahead, prepare the baskets, stretch your faith, widen your arms, because you are not about to enter a field of scarcity. You are about to walk into overflow. It is not because you toiled harder than everyone else. It is because you stayed in love, in trust, in obedience. When everything in you wanted to escape, you were faithful in the fire. Now I will make you fruitful in the field. No devil, no crowd, and no delay can stop what I have assigned to rise from the soil of your surrender. My precious child, you have lived under so many labels. Some were assigned by pain. Others were whispered by fear. A few came from people who never saw you clearly, but you wore them anyway, like heavy coats on warm days. You started to believe you were limited. You started to answer to names I never gave you, too late, too broken, not enough. But I need you to hear me now. Those labels are lies. And I am about to strip them off. Because this next move I am making in your life will not just elevate your position, it will reveal your identity. This is not just a breakthrough, this is an unveiling. You are about to see yourself the way I have always seen you. Not the wounded version, not the rejected version, not the scared, silent, hidden version. I am talking about the original design, the one I dreamed up before the foundations of the world. The version of you that walks with kingdom confidence. The one who carries fire in their eyes and favor in their footsteps. The one who doesn't shrink in the presence of greatness because they carry greatness. The one who doesn't run from calling but runs toward it because they finally remember who they are. You see, this isn't me giving you a new identity, it is me restoring the one you forgot. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. It has always been inside you, buried under years of trying to fit in, prove yourself, or recover from the wounds others inflicted. But I never stopped seeing you. I never stopped calling your true name, even when you didn't answer. And now I am about to make it so clear that you won't be able to unsee it. This unveiling will be so transformative that even those closest to you will pause and say, "Who is this?" And the answer will be simple: this is who I have always been. So don't brace yourself for small change. Prepare for radical revelation. What I am revealing is not just potential, it is purpose. This isn't an upgrade, it is a resurrection. It is not about being famous, it is about being found by your true self. By your original design, by your destiny. You will walk differently, speak differently, move differently, not because you were pretending to be something else, but because you finally stopped pretending not to be who I created you to be. When you walk in that revelation, child, nothing can stop you. My beloved child, you have been under pressure so intense it nearly broke your breath. You felt like you were being targeted, torn at the seams, ambushed in every direction. You have wondered, why now? Why all of a sudden? Hear me clearly, this is not random. This is not punishment. This is prophetic timing. The battle intensified not because you were off course, but because you were on the verge. What you are about to walk into is so strategic, so explosive in its impact, that hell could not sit silently. The enemy doesn't waste ammunition on distractions, he reserves his fire for threats. And child, you are a threat. The enemy knows what I placed inside of you. He saw it before you even believed it. He saw the oil. He saw the authority. He saw the promise being formed in the quiet. The moment you began to step into alignment, he unleashed disruption. But understand this, the increase in warfare is not proof of my absence, it is confirmation of your arrival. You have reached the threshold. The enemy knows that once you cross into this next season, you will be unstoppable. You will break curses by showing up. You will shift atmospheres by speaking truth. You will awaken the sleeping by simply being who you are. Here is what I want you to understand. The resistance is always greatest right before the release. Every lie, every distraction, every delay you faced recently was not because something is wrong with you. It is because something is finally right. The alignment has clicked into place. The assignment is locked in. Heaven has issued orders, and your feet are already marching in rhythm with them. The enemy is terrified not of who you are, but of who you have become. He knows the sound of a fully surrendered vessel. And child, your obedience is louder than you think. So don't interpret the warfare as defeat, interpret it as evidence. You are on the brink of something massive, something historic, something that generations after you will talk about. You were born for impact. Now the impact is about to unfold. So lift your head, square your shoulders, and take the next step with fire in your eyes. The war around you is loud, but it is only because the release within you is louder. No weapon formed against you will prosper because I have declared that you are the weapon. And it is time to be unleashed. My child, I know the future feels uncertain. I know you have laid awake at night, heart racing, mind spiraling, asking me, what's next? Will I be okay? Will it work out? I heard every question. I felt every fear. And I want to say this to you as clearly as possible. I am already there. I didn't send you ahead alone. I went before you. I have inhabited your future. I am not waiting in the next season to test you. I am waiting to welcome you. Everything you are walking into has already been touched by my presence. Prepared by my hands, protected by my voice. The future is not unfamiliar to me. It is finished by me. I have gone into the days you haven't seen yet and secured the things you are still praying for. I have stood in the room you will be promoted into. I have walked the path you will take to healing. I have already sent provision to the place you will step into next. Nothing about your future catches me off guard. And because you belong to me, it doesn't have to catch you off guard either. You can move forward not with anxiety, but with authority. Not with panic, but with peace. You don't have to wonder if I'll be there because I am already waiting. The truth is, I have been preparing you just as much as I have been preparing what is coming. And now the two are about to meet, the version of you that is ready and the future that is ripe. When they meet, there will be alignment, ease, and acceleration. You won't have to force it, it will flow. Doors will open without manipulation. Conversations will spark without pressure. Breakthroughs will bloom without warning. Why? Because I already sowed the seed of them in advance. The future is not an empty stage, it is a set table. I am not just inviting you to sit, I have reserved your seat. Walk into your next with holy confidence. I have gone before you, and I remain behind you. I surround you, I undergird you, I whisper to your spirit even now. You don't have to be afraid of what is coming because what is coming is filled with me. You will not arrive in the future as a stranger. You will arrive as a son, a daughter, a rightful heir to territory already promised. When you get there, you will see it. The footprints of your father have already walked the land. I have written your name into the story. It is not just a new chapter, it is a fulfilled one. My beloved, yes, you. The one who has endured more than you have told. The one who has wept in places no one else knew you were even wounded. The one who has smiled while silently asking me for just one more sign. The one who has survived season after season wondering, God, is this all building towards something? Or am I standing still? Hear me now, you are not standing still. You are standing at the line. The ending of a chapter is not the closing of a story, but the activation of everything you were born for. You have reached what I call the launch line, and the air around you is shifting because I am about to send you forth. This is the point where time bends and destiny collides with obedience. You have reached the invisible barrier between survival and significance. And no, child, you will not walk backward from this line. I will not let you. I have invested too much in your becoming. I have poured too much into your surrender. You are not going back to playing small. You are not returning to the wilderness of self-doubt and delay. The version of you that questioned everything is being left on this side of the line. The version of you that knows how to carry promise, that is the version stepping forward. When I say everything is about to change, I do not mean temporarily. I do not mean lightly. I mean eternally. This moment is holy, not because you are about to be seen, but because you are about to be sent. You will not walk into this next season with hesitation. You will run with heaven's momentum. Everything that tried to kill your calling, every delay, every betrayal, every moment of deep pain, will now serve as proof of the power that rests upon you. You will no longer echo with questions like, "Am I really chosen?" You will resonate with answers like, "I was born for this." The doubts have been crushed under the weight of your yes. Now I am about to accelerate you into days you never dared to imagine. Not because you chased opportunity, but because you obeyed in obscurity. Once you step over this launch line, hear me, there is no going back. You won't be able to fit into who you were. The old wineskins, the old language, the old fears, they won't recognize you. And that is good, because I didn't spend all this time refining you just to return you to the same pattern. I spent this time launching you beyond it. This is more than a shift, this is a birthing. This is the sound of heaven declaring over you, it is time. And when I say time, I don't mean maybe. I don't mean someday. I mean now. So stand here at the launch line, child. Not with trembling, but with trust. Not with shrinking, but with stature. You are my vessel. You are my mouthpiece. You are my warrior. You are my resting place. This line is holy ground. Step forward and don't look back. Everything has changed, and it will never return to what it was because this is your launch. You have reached the launch line not just into your future, but into someone else's miracle. This message is not entertainment, it is a mantle, and I am calling you to help carry it further. When you give, you help me launch this prophetic fire into places your feet may never touch, but your obedience will. I told you everything is about to change. Now I ask you to plant a seed that declares, "Yes, Lord, let this word run wild." As I said in Malachi, test me in this and see if I won't open the floodgates of heaven. I will bless your giving. I will protect your house. I will remember your name. Move now, give through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, and help me launch this word into the world. Before you leave this moment, I want you to seal it. Speak what your spirit already knows. God is changing everything in my life. Starting now, type it, declare it, release it. Let the atmosphere around you echo what heaven is doing within you. Don't scroll past your confirmation. Mark this moment in the open, not just in your heart. Because when you declare it publicly, you are not just responding, you are activating what I have already set in motion. Write it in the comments. Everything in my life is about to change. And I'm ready. And as you speak that word, come here to me. My child, come here. Let us speak plainly. I know you feel the weight of this long season. You have been walking through a reality that has felt heavy, a cycle that repeats the same disappointments day after day. I have seen you at your job feeling overlooked while others get the promotion you worked for. I have felt the unspoken tension in your home, the quiet strain that makes it hard to breathe. I have heard your prayers in the dead of night, The ones where you ask, "My God, how much longer?" You have become so used to the struggle that you have started to call it normal. But I am here to tell you that is not my normal for you. And it is about to change. Listen to me. I am now stepping into your circumstances with undeniable power. This is not a distant wish or a far-off hope. This is an emergency message for you right now in this very moment. Feel that subtle shift in the air around you? That is my presence entering your situation. The patterns of delay and disappointment that have marked your life are being shattered by my command. Think of the cycle of almost, the breakthrough that was just within reach before it slipped through your fingers. Think of the hope that rises only to be met with another closed door. I declare to you now, that cycle is broken. I am speaking a final word over that frustration. It ends today. Do not mistake what is happening for a gradual shift. This is not a slow turning of a season. It is a sudden, seismic intervention from heaven. The very ground of your reality is shaking, not to destroy you, but to reposition you onto the solid rock of my promise. I am halting the plans of the enemy against you this very moment. That knot of anxiety you feel in your stomach when you think about the future, that is not from me. That is the enemy's attempt to paralyze you with fear, and I am cutting it off at its source. The whispers that tell you you're not good enough, that you've made too many mistakes, that your chance has passed, I am silencing those voices now. My truth is becoming the only sound you will hear. What you have considered your normal is being replaced by my supernatural. Your normal has been striving, working, and worrying, trying to hold everything together on your own. My supernatural is rest, favor, and seeing doors fly open that you never even knocked on. Your normal has been just enough to get by. My supernatural is more than enough to fulfill every promise I have made to you. I am interrupting your routine of survival and introducing you to my rhythm of abundance. So prepare for a divine interruption that will redefine your entire existence. Open your eyes and watch. The things you have been laboring for will suddenly come to you. The relationships that have been strained will experience a sudden thaw. The financial pressure that has been crushing you will be lifted in ways you cannot anticipate. This is my doing. It will be so clear, so powerful, and so sudden that you will have no doubt that it is my hand at work. Stop looking at your past and stop trying to figure out your future. Just stand still and see the salvation I am bringing into your life. The change is not coming, my beloved, it is here. My beloved child, let us go to a place you keep hidden even from yourself. It is the secret garden of your heart, a place where you have buried things you thought were long forgotten. But I see them. I see the roots of bitterness that took hold when a friend betrayed your trust, speaking words behind your back that cut you deeply. I see the tender shoot of a dream that withered and died from neglect and discouragement, and I know you still grieve its loss in the quiet moments. I see the thorny weeds of trauma that grew from a harsh word spoken by a parent years ago, a word that has defined you more than you were willing to admit. You have learned to live with this overgrown, painful landscape. You walk around these places, careful not to disturb them. But I am not here to walk around them. I am descending into this garden to heal what is hidden because you cannot build a new future on poisoned soil. Feel my presence with you now. I am walking with you to that place of pain. Show me the memory that makes you flinch. Do not be afraid. Every root of bitterness and past trauma is being pulled out now by my loving hand. This is not a violent tearing. It is a careful, deliberate unearthing. I am gently loosening the soil of your past, exposing these roots to my light. The root of rejection that whispers, "You are unwanted," I am pulling it out. The root of failure that screams, "You will never be good enough," I am pulling it out. The root of fear that insists you must protect yourself at all costs, even if it means never trusting again, I am pulling it out. Breathe out, my child. With every exhale, Release the sorrow attached to these roots. With every inhale, breathe in my healing. I will replace the soil of your past pain with the fertile ground of my grace. Where the ground was hard and rocky with unforgiveness, I am breaking it up and pouring in the nutrients of my mercy. Where the soil was depleted by years of self-criticism, I am enriching it with the truth of your value in my eyes. This is a deep work, a foundational work. You cannot do this on your own. Your own efforts only compact the soil further. Surrender the tools. Let me be the gardener of your heart. You will find that memories that once brought you sharp, sudden pain will now serve as testimonies of my healing power. That moment of betrayal will no longer be a source of bitterness, but a testament to how I taught you to forgive. That failure will no longer be a monument to your inadequacy, but a marker on the road of my faithfulness, showing where I picked you up and set you on a new path. The lingering grief you carry in silence, the sadness that ambushes you when you are alone, I am turning it into shouts of joy. You will laugh again, a deep, genuine laugh that comes from a place of freedom. You will feel a lightness in your spirit that you thought was lost forever. This is my promise to you. The healing will be so complete that you will look back on this season not with pain but with awe at my redemptive power. You will no longer be watered by the tears of your sorrow, but you will be nourished by the constant flowing river of my peace. Let that river flow into the driest parts of your heart right now. Let it wash away the dust of yesterday's pain. This is your healing, my child. Receive it. Now that we have tended to the soil of your heart, let's talk about the clothes you have been wearing. Not the clothes on your body, but the labels you have wrapped around your soul like a heavy, scratchy coat. You carry them everywhere. Labels like disappointment, second choice, not smart enough, too broken. These labels were given to you by the world, by your past, perhaps even by people who claim to love you. You have worn them for so long, you have forgotten they are not your skin. You look in the mirror and you see these labels instead of the masterpiece I created. My child, listen to my voice. I am stripping away the false labels the world and your past have placed upon you. Right now, I am taking that heavy coat of shame and inadequacy off your shoulders. Let it fall to the floor. It was never yours to carry. I will show you how I see you. When I look at you, I do not see your mistakes. I do not see your stumbles. I see the righteousness of my Son covering you completely. I see you as holy, set apart for a divine purpose that only you can fulfill. And more than anything, I see you as deeply beloved, not loved because of what you do, but loved because of who you are, mine. Let this truth sink past your ears and into your spirit, the spirit of rejection and that orphan spirit that has followed you, making you feel like you are always on the outside looking in, always having to prove your worth to belong. That spirit is being replaced by the spirit of adoption. You are not a guest in my house. You are not an employee working for my approval. You are my child. You belong here. You have a seat at my table always. Because of this, you will no longer question your worth, for your value is sealed by the blood of my Son. Your worth is not determined by your bank account, your job title, your relationship status, or the number of followers you have. Your value is not up for debate. It is the highest value in the universe, paid for with the most precious price. When you are tempted to measure yourself against someone else, I want you to remember the cross. That is the ultimate measure of your value. It declares for all eternity that you are worth dying for. Let that be the foundation on which you stand. It is unshakable. From this foundation of unshakable worth, I am awakening the royal authority I placed within you from the beginning. You have been living like a servant, head down, just trying to get by without causing trouble. But that is not who you are. You carry the authority of the King of Kings within you. It is time to stand up straight, lift your head, and walk not as a servant, but as a child of the King with full inheritance rights. This means you don't have to beg for what is already yours. Peace is your inheritance. Joy is your inheritance. Provision is your inheritance. Authority over the enemy is your inheritance. It is time for you to stop asking for permission to receive what I have already freely given you. Step into your identity, my royal child. The transformation is not just in your heart, it is in your very posture. Walk differently from this day forward. My child, do you hear that? That constant low hum of noise in the back of your mind? The voice that replays your every mistake, that magnifies your every flaw, that second-guesses your every decision? It is the voice of the accuser, and his only goal is to keep you small, silent, and stuck. He is the one who wakes you at 3:00 a.m. with a checklist of your worries and regrets. He is the one who whispers, "Who do you think you are?" whenever you dare to step out in faith. His accusations have become the background music of your life, and you have grown so accustomed to it, you barely notice it anymore. But I notice, and I have had enough. Today, I am issuing a divine restraining order against the voice of the accuser in your life. By my supreme authority, I declare that his access to your mind is revoked. He must be silent. The whispers of doubt, fear, and condemnation that have followed you for years will lose their power over your mind. You will find that the old familiar anxieties no longer have the same grip. The fear of failure that used to paralyze you will begin to feel distant, like a bad dream you were waking up from. The condemnation that made you feel permanently disqualified will be replaced by the quiet confidence of my grace. This is my promise. My voice of truth will become the only sound you heed, louder and more compelling than any lie the enemy can construct. My voice does not shout in panic, it speaks with creative power and unshakable peace. You will learn to distinguish my voice from all others. It is the voice that brings calm to your chaos, strength to your weakness, and clarity to your confusion. I am canceling every word curse spoken against you, by others, or by yourself. Do you remember when that teacher, that ex-partner, that family member said you would never amount to anything? That was a curse, a seed of limitation they tried to plant in you. And what about the curses you have spoken over yourself? Every time you have said, "I'm so stupid," or "I always mess things up," or "nothing good ever happens to me," you have agreed with the enemy. Today, I am canceling all of them. I pull up those poisonous seeds. I declare that those words are now null and void, rendered powerless by the authority of my name. They no longer have any legal right to operate in your life. They are erased. Because of this, the guilt and shame that have held you captive are dissolved by my forgiveness. Shame is a prison that keeps you locked in the past. But I hold the key, and I am unlocking the door. When I forgive, I do not just pardon, I cleanse. The record of your wrongs is wiped clean, not because you earned it, but because my Son paid for it. Accept this freedom, my child. Stop punishing yourself for what I have already forgiven. Let go of the need to make up for your past. Your mind is being renewed, and you will think with the clarity and confidence of heaven. The mental fog is lifting. The confusion is clearing. You will begin to think my thoughts, to see with my perspective, and to lie from a place of unshakable peace. The noise is gone. Can you hear the silence? In this quiet place, you will learn to hear only me. My precious one, for so long you have been standing before walls, before doors that have been bolted shut. You have knocked, you have pushed, you have prayed, and still they have not opened. You have seen others walk through doors of opportunity with ease, while you have only known rejection and delay. The job you were perfect for, the relationship you longed for, the ministry you dreamed of, all have seemed to be behind impenetrable barriers. You have started to believe that maybe those doors are not for you. But I am coming to you today to change your perspective. You have been looking at the doors. I want you to look at me, the one who holds all the keys. For behold, I have set before you an open door of unprecedented opportunity, and no man, no devil, no circumstance can shut it. This is a season where you will see a great reversal. Where you once faced rejection, you will now find supernatural favor. Do you remember that interview where you felt dismissed? Prepare for a call out of the blue. Remember that person of influence who would not give you the time of day? I am turning their heart, and they will seek you out. The very places that rejected you will become the platforms for your greatest victories. My favor goes before you like a tidal wave, clearing a path where there was none. I am creating pathways in the wilderness and rivers in the desert for you. The situation that seems barren, hopeless, and impossible to navigate, that is the very place I am about to display my glory. The resources you need will appear in the most desolate of places. The help you require will come from the most unexpected sources. Understand this, my child, these opportunities will not be man-made. They will be divinely orchestrated appointments. You will not have to strive, manipulate, or play political games to get through these doors. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time, speaking to the right person, and things will fall into place with a supernatural ease that can only be attributed to me. This is so your testimony will not be, "Look what I achieved," but "Look what my God has done." I am removing the gatekeepers who stood against your progress. The individuals, the systems, the demonic forces that have been assigned to block your destiny are being pushed aside by my mighty hand. Their power to hinder you is broken. Their authority to deny you access is nullified. I am your access. You will walk into rooms and positions you were never qualified for by my grace alone. Your resume will not make sense. Your background will not fit the mold. People will look at you and wonder how you got there. And the answer will be my favor. My beloved child, listen closely to me right now, because it is not an accident that you are hearing this message today. I am anointing you for positions you were never trained for, and I am giving you influence in circles you never had access to before. I know the feeling that has been plaguing you, that nagging sense of being an imposter, the fear that you do not truly belong in the room. You must cast that feeling off immediately. My presence with you is your only qualification, and it is the supreme credential that overrides any degree or pedigree the world demands. So stop disqualifying yourself and stop looking at your own inadequacies. Lift up your head and see the door I have opened for you, then walk through it with boldness. Do not hesitate and do not look back, because your future is waiting on the other side. Pause for a moment and feel the weight of what has just been declared over your life. The doors are open and the old voices of doubt are silenced. But this is only the beginning of the path, not the end. It would grieve my heart if you celebrated this new access but turned away before I could teach you how to walk through it. What I am about to tell you next concerns the deep healing of your heart, without which you will carry your old wounds into this new territory. Stay with me, because the deepest work is yet to come. Let us talk about something that weighs on you heavily, something that often steals your peace in the middle of the night, your finances. I have seen you with your head in your hands at the kitchen table, staring at bills you do not know how to pay. I have felt the anxiety that grips your heart when you look at your bank account, the biting fear that you will simply not have enough. You have been living under a constant pressure, a heavy spirit of lack that whispers to you that there will never be more than just enough to scrape by. I want you to know that this is a generational lie, a cycle of poverty and financial struggle that has been passed down like a dark inheritance. But my child, I am here today to serve an eviction notice on that spirit. The spirit of lack and poverty is being broken off your bloodline right now in the mighty name of my Son, Jesus. This is more than just a change in your bank balance, it is a fundamental shift in your anointing. I am releasing a new anointing for wealth and stewardship upon you. Notice I did not just say wealth, I said stewardship. I am entrusting you with my resources not for hoarding, but for kingdom purposes. I am teaching you to see money not as a source of security or stress, but as a tool in your hand, a tool for generosity, a tool for blessing others, and a tool for advancing my will on this earth. Your finances will no longer be a source of anxiety, but a channel of my blessing. The fear will be replaced by faith, and the worry will be replaced by wisdom. You will learn to manage what I give you with integrity and a generous heart. I am doing something powerful in the spiritual realm concerning your finances right now. I am canceling supernatural debts and releasing supernatural provision. There are debts you owe that you see no natural way to repay, but watch me. I will provide for you in ways that defy logic. A debt will be forgiven, an unexpected check will arrive in the mail, or a new stream of income will open up that you did not anticipate. I am moving on your behalf to release you from the bondage of debt while simultaneously releasing the provision you have been praying for. The resources for that dream, the funds for your family's needs, it is being released now from my storehouse. You must change your thinking because you are moving from a mindset of just enough to a reality of more than enough. This is not for the purpose of lavish, self-indulgent living, but for a purpose far greater. You will have more than enough so you can be extravagantly generous, able to fund ministries, support the poor, and sow into the vision I have placed in your heart. I will give you creative ideas and strategies that bring forth an abundant harvest. So pay attention to the thoughts and ideas I drop into your spirit, a new business venture, an investment strategy, or a solution to a problem at work. These are downloads from heaven designed to unlock the prosperity I have destined for you. Your days of financial anxiety are over. Your new story is one of divine provision and supernatural abundance. Believe it, and you will see it. My child, let us also talk about the quiet aches in your heart, the ones that come from people. I have seen the rift between you and your sibling, a chasm of silence and misunderstanding that has grown wider over the years. I have sat with you in the car after a phone call with a parent, feeling the weight of all the things that go unsaid, the history that hangs between you. I know the unique pain of a friendship that dissolved into nothing, leaving you with questions and a profound sense of loss. You look at these broken connections and, in your own strength, reconciliation feels impossible. You have built walls around your heart to protect it from further hurt, believing it is safer to keep your distance. But a life lived in isolation is not the abundant life I have for you. I am a God of reconciliation, and I am about to do the impossible in your relationships. I am breathing life into family connections that seem dead and buried. That relationship you have already held a funeral for in your heart. I am walking into the tomb and I am calling it forth. Watch as hearts of stone are turned to hearts of flesh within your household. The stubborn pride that refuses to apologize, the hardened resentment that will not let go of a past offense. I am pouring my spirit upon those hearts and I am making them soft again. Do not be surprised when you receive a phone call you never expected. Do not be shocked when a conversation that was once impossible begins to flow with supernatural ease. I am orchestrating reconciliations that you thought were impossible, and I will do it in a way that brings me glory. You will not have to force it or manipulate it. You will simply have to be willing to forgive when the moment arrives. But you must understand that my restoration also involves pruning. In my wisdom, I am also removing toxic connections that have hindered your destiny. You know the ones I speak of, the relationships that drain your spirit, that sow doubt into your soul, and that consistently pull you away from me. You have held on to them out of loyalty or fear of being alone, even as they have slowly poisoned your heart. I am giving you the grace and the courage to release them now. This is not an act of cruelty. It is an act of love for the beautiful future I have for you. Letting go of what is killing you is not a loss, it is a necessary part of your healing. As you make room, I am bringing new covenant relationships into your life for the season ahead. I am connecting you with people who will see you as I see you. They will not be intimidated by your calling, they will champion it. They will not drain your faith, they will fuel it. You will finally find your tribe, and the loneliness that has been your companion will become a distant memory. Your circle will be one of iron sharpening iron, united in my purpose. These will be friendships forged in the fire of my spirit, creating bonds that are unbreakable. You will look around you and realize you are surrounded by people who are for you, who challenge you, who celebrate you, and who run alongside you. My beloved, we must address the giant in your life, the one named fear. He has been your jailer for far too long. I see how he dictates your decisions. I hear his voice in your hesitation. It is the fear of what people will think that keeps you silent when you should speak. It is the fear of failure that stops you from starting the very thing I have called you to do. It is the fear of rejection that prevents you from being vulnerable. This fear has paralyzed you, whispering that it is safer to stay small, to remain unseen, to never take a risk. But the life I have called you to cannot be lived from a place of fear. It is a life of bold faith and courageous action. Today, I am deposing that giant. I am replacing your spirit of fear with my spirit of power, of love, and of a sound, disciplined mind. I am placing a new mantle upon your shoulders right now. Feel its weight. It is not a weight of burden, but a weight of glory and authority. This is the mantle of unshakable courage. When you wear it, you will face old giants with new boldness, knowing that I have already secured the victory. That person at work who intimidates you, you will look them in the eye with a quiet confidence that comes from me. The difficult conversation you have been avoiding, you will walk into it with my peace as your shield. That past failure that has haunted you, you will see it for what it is, a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. The intimidation that once paralyzed you and filled your mind with 1,000 worst-case scenarios will now be a footnote in your testimony. It will be a story you tell of how you used to be before you truly understood who I am within you. With this new courage, you will begin to act differently. I am anointing you to speak my truth with authority in places you once felt voiceless. In your family, in your workplace, in your community, you will no longer shrink back. Your words will carry my authority, bringing life and truth into dark places. Furthermore, you will take risks for my kingdom that your old self would have run from. I may ask you to start a business, to write a book, to move to a new city, or to lead a ministry. Your fearful self would have listed all the reasons why you couldn't. But your courageous self will only have one question: Lord, when do I start? This is the shift that is happening within you. I want you to be very clear on this, my child. Your confidence will not be in your own ability. If you look to yourself, you will always find a reason to be afraid. Your confidence will be in my overwhelming presence with you. It is the deep, cellular knowledge that I go before you, that I am with you, and that I am your rear guard. It is knowing that I cannot fail, and because you are in me, you cannot fail either. So stand up, straighten your shoulders, feel the mantle I have placed upon you. The days of being ruled by fear are over. Your new identity is courage, and now, walk in it. My faithful child, I have not been blind to your endurance. I have watched you hold on to my promises through years of silence, through seasons when it seemed nothing was happening. You have prayed, you have fasted, and you have believed even when your circumstances screamed the opposite. You have watched others receive their breakthroughs while you continued to wait, and the weariness has been heavy on your soul. You have wondered if I have forgotten you, or if the prophetic words spoken over your life have expired. I am speaking to you now to put an end to that question. I have not forgotten. Not one word has fallen to the ground. Your season of waiting has served its purpose. It has cultivated in you a depth and a character that a quick victory never could. But now, that season is over. The time for fulfillment is here. And what was meant to take years, I will accomplish in a fraction of the time. You are entering a period of divine acceleration. The progress that would have taken a decade of human effort, I will bring to pass in a matter of months. I am the Lord of time, and I am now compressing it on your behalf. You are about to be launched forward with a spiritual velocity that will leave you in awe. I am redeeming the time the locusts have eaten, the years of wandering, the years of delay, the years lost to fear or indecision. Not only am I restoring the time, but I am restoring it with interest. The blessing you receive will be greater, richer, and more glorious because of the wait. The prophetic words you have treasured in your heart, the ones you have almost given up on, are moving from promise to fulfillment. Now, dust them off and begin to speak them again. They are not dead, they have simply been waiting for my appointed time. You are entering a season of suddenly, where my blessings will overtake you. Be prepared, for this will not be a slow, predictable trickle, it will be a flood. Suddenly, the phone will ring with the offer you have been waiting for. Suddenly, the healing will manifest in your body. Suddenly, the wayward child will come home. Suddenly, the financial provision will be in your account. It will happen so fast your head will spin. It is my delight to bless you in ways that are swift, undeniable, and miraculous. Most importantly, the frustrating cycle of almost there is broken. You know this pain intimately, the pain of the near miss, of getting to the very edge of your miracle only to have it snatched away. You have been running a long and difficult race and you have stumbled just before the finish line time and time again. I am here to tell you that curse is broken. I am personally carrying you across the finish line. You will not stumble this time. You will not be disqualified. You will hold the prize in your hand. Prepare your heart and make room in your life. Prepare to receive in days what you have been praying for over decades. Do not be afraid of the speed at which I am about to move. Do not question it. Simply receive it with a grateful heart. The waiting is over. The time for acceleration has begun. My precious child, we need to talk about your body. I know the pain you live with. I know about the diagnosis the doctors have given you and the medical report that brought fear into your heart. I am aware of the chronic condition that is the first thing you feel when you wake up and the last thing you think about before you sleep. I see the fatigue that settles deep in your bones, making even simple tasks feel like climbing a mountain. You have been so brave carrying this burden with a strength you didn't know you had, but I never intended for you to carry it forever. My son took stripes on his back so that you could be healed, and it is time for you to walk in the fullness of that healing. This is not a distant hope, it is a present reality I am releasing to you now. My healing virtue is flowing through you as you read these words. I want you to perceive it. It is like a warm, golden river of life coursing through your veins, pushing out every sickness, every disease, and every infirmity. I am speaking directly to your body. I speak to your immune system and command it to function in perfect divine order. I speak to your nervous system and I command it to be at peace. I speak to every cell, every tissue, and every organ, and I release my creative healing power into it. Chronic conditions and persistent ailments must bow to the name of Jesus. That long, intimidating medical name that has tried to become your identity has no authority here. It is just a name, and it must bow to the name that is above every other name. I am the Lord who heals you, and my final word is greater than any doctor's report. I am not just taking away the sickness, I am renewing your strength like the eagles. The weariness that has clung to you is leaving your frame right now. I am breathing my life into your lungs, my strength into your muscles, and my vitality into your very being. You will begin to wake up in the morning feeling refreshed, not drained. You will have the energy to not only do what you need to do, but to do it with joy. Not only am I healing you, but I am also releasing a new level of divine health. This is a step beyond just being not sick. This is a state of supernatural well-being where your body functions at its optimal, God-designed level. I want you to thrive, not just survive. Part of this journey involves our partnership. I am giving you new wisdom for how to care for the temple of my spirit. Listen to the gentle nudges I give you about what to eat, about when to rest, and about how to move your body. Do not despise these instructions. Your body is a precious gift, and I want to teach you how to steward it well. Your healing is an act of my sovereign power, and your healthy choices are an act of your worship. Together, we will see you walk in a new dimension of wholeness. You will have the physical vitality to run the race I have set before you. The physical limitations that have held you back are being broken. You will be able to do what I have called you to do without being hindered by pain or fatigue. This is your healing. It is not something you have to earn or strive for. It is a gift of grace. Receive it now. My beloved, I have poured out healing and courage upon you, but do not mistake the provision for the purpose. To feel this new strength and then stop listening now would be to receive a sword but forsake the battle plan. Do not wound my spirit by embracing your personal comfort while ignoring your divine calling. The next thing I must tell you is how your personal victory will become a public testimony that shakes the world around you. You must hear this, my child. Let us address those who have stood against you. I have seen the pain they have caused. The boss who has consistently overlooked your hard work. The family member who misunderstands your heart and criticizes your every move. The person in your circle who spreads gossip and subtly turns others against you. You have felt the sting of their words, the frustration of their opposition, and the deep injustice of being falsely judged. You have prayed for them. You have tried to love them, but their resistance has been a constant source of grief and a barrier to your peace. I am here to tell you that I am about to intervene in this dynamic in a way that will leave you in awe. I am going to grant you my supernatural favor, and it will be so thick upon you that even your enemies will see it. Those who have opposed you will witness my hand of blessing upon your life so undeniably that they will be left with no choice but to acknowledge me. Their arguments against you will fall silent in the face of your tangible success. Their criticisms will sound hollow as they see your character shine. This is not for your glory, but for mine. I will use your promotion, your success, and your peace to be a testimony to those who have doubted you and, in turn, doubted me. I will turn the hearts of your enemies. This will manifest in two ways. For some, I will perform a miracle in their hearts, softening them toward you. They will come to you seeking peace, and the strife between you will be resolved. For others who refuse to soften, I will simply silence them. Their plans against you will not prosper. Their words against you will have no impact. They will be rendered ineffective in their opposition. I am vindicating you publicly where you were judged privately. You have carried the secret pain of false accusations and unfair judgments for a long time. I have seen it all, and the time for your public vindication has come. In the very area where your name was dragged through the mud, I will elevate you and restore your reputation. Your integrity will shine brightly, dispelling the shadows of all the lies that have been told. People who once believed the gossip will see the truth with their own eyes. You will not have to defend yourself. I will be your defense. This is one of the most powerful ways my favor will manifest. People who once blocked you will now be used by me to assist you. The very person who stood in the way of your progress will be the one to open the door for you. The one who spoke against you will be the one to speak in your favor. This is my divine irony, my holy justice. I love to use the most unlikely instruments to accomplish my will. Do not be surprised when it happens. Just recognize it as my hand at work. From this day forward, my favor will be a shield around you, causing confusion in the camp of the enemy. Attacks against you will not land. Plans to harm you will backfire. Those who try to curse you will find that only blessings can come out of their mouths. Walk in this new reality, my child. Walk with your head held high, not in pride, but in the quiet confidence that you are surrounded by my favor. My child, I see the restlessness in your spirit. I hear the question that echoes in your heart in the quiet hours. What am I really supposed to be doing with my life? You have been going through the motions, fulfilling your responsibilities, but a deep sense of purpose has eluded you. You feel a pull towards something more, yet the direction is unclear, like trying to navigate in a fog. You look at your passions, the things that truly make your heart beat faster, and then you look at your daily life. And the two seem miles apart. This has created a fragmentation, a sense that you are living a life that isn't fully yours. You have been running hard, but you are not sure if you are even on the right track. My beloved, it is time to end this confusion. I am here to bring absolute clarity to your calling. I am performing a divine recalibration of your spirit. Imagine a finely tuned instrument that has been knocked out of harmony by the bumps and bruises of life. I am now gently, precisely tuning you back to the exact frequency of your created purpose. The static of other people's expectations, the distracting noise of the world's definition of success, the low hum of your own insecurities, all of it is fading away. The confusion and uncertainty about your life's mission are being lifted like a morning fog burning off in the sun. Your next steps are about to become brilliantly, breathtakingly clear. You will no longer feel pulled in a dozen different directions. You will feel a single, powerful divine current pulling you forward. I want to speak to you about the things you love, that hobby you do late at night after everyone else is asleep. That natural talent you have that seems to come so easily, a deep compassion you feel for a certain group of people. Do not dismiss these things as random or insignificant. I am the one who planted those passions within you, and I am now connecting your passions with my divine purpose for your life. The very thing that makes you come alive is a key to your calling. I am showing you how to weave that love for art, for teaching, for organizing, for encouraging, into the grand tapestry I am creating with your life. It is not about abandoning who you are to serve me, it is about becoming the most authentic version of yourself in my service. As I bring this clarity, I am also empowering you to remove the distractions that have pulled you off the path I have for you. Be honest, you know what they are. The hours lost to mindless scrolling, the unhealthy relationship that drains your energy and focus, the commitments you said yes to out of guilt, not calling. These things have cluttered your life and choked your purpose. I am giving you the wisdom and the courage to make a change, to prune away the non-essential so the essential can flourish. You will wake up each day with a renewed sense of direction and passion. Your why will be so clear that it will propel you out of bed in the morning, filled with holy determination. Your life from this moment on will become a testament to living fully for my glory, a powerful story that will inspire others to find their own divine purpose. My child, as I recalibrate your divine purpose, your heart now burns with a new mission. If you feel the fire of this assignment, know that your first act of purpose is to send this very word into the darkest corners of the earth. Your gift is not simply money. It is a seed of my anointing sown into the fertile ground of another soul who is desperate for this change. I declare to you, test me in this. Pour out your offering and I will throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out a blessing so great you will not have room enough to store it. This is a prophetic moment to align your resources with your new assignment. I will rebuke the devourer for your sake and all nations will call you blessed. Now obey the stirring. Become a channel for this message. My child, I am giving you a new anointing, a new level of influence that has nothing to do with your title or your position. It is an anointing to shift atmospheres. Until now, you have been a thermometer, merely reflecting the temperature of the rooms you enter. If the room is tense, you become tense. If the environment is negative, you feel your own spirit sink. But from this day forward, you will no longer be a thermometer. You are now a thermostat. When you enter a room, my presence will enter with you and you will set the temperature. You will not be conformed to the atmosphere will be conformed to you. Think about the places you go each day. The office meeting filled with unspoken conflict and stress. The family gathering where old tensions simmer just beneath the surface. A store where the cashier is weary and irritable. In each of these places, you are now my secret agent of peace. As you walk in, chaos will be replaced by peace and darkness will have to flee from your light. You may not say a single word, but people will feel it. A tangible sense of calm will settle. Arguments will de-escalate. The heavy spiritual air will suddenly feel light. This is not something you have to strive to do. It is the natural byproduct of carrying my presence. I am giving you authority to release joy and hope wherever you go. You will become a carrier of my glory, a mobile ark of my covenant. Remember the ark in the Old Testament? It was a wooden box, but it was overlaid with gold and housed my manifest presence. Wherever the ark went, my power and blessing were released. The river Jordan parted, the walls of Jericho fell. I am telling you, my beloved, that you are a new covenant ark. My spirit, my very glory, dwells within you. Be aware of what you carry. When you walk into your home, you are carrying my peace. When you walk into your workplace, you are carrying my wisdom. When you visit a sick friend in the hospital, you are carrying my healing power. Type, yes, if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. This anointing will also manifest through your words. Your words will carry creative power to bring order and life to dead situations. You will speak a word of encouragement to someone on the verge of giving up, and you will see hope reignited in their eyes. You will speak my truth over a chaotic situation, and you will see things begin to align with my divine order. Let your words be my words, filled with life, faith, and power. As you walk in this anointing, you will notice something wonderful. People will be drawn not to you, but to the transformative presence of me within you. They may not be able to articulate it, but they will know that you carry something they desperately need. They will come to you seeking wisdom, seeking prayer, seeking peace. And in those moments, you will have the glorious privilege of introducing them to the source of it all. This is your new reality. You are an atmosphere shifter for the kingdom of God. My child, I have placed within you a treasure chest of spiritual gifts, abilities empowered by my own spirit. They were deposited in you before you were even born, custom designed for the unique purpose I have for your life. For a long time, this treasure chest has remained locked. Perhaps you felt you were not worthy, or you were afraid of the supernatural, or maybe you simply did not know the treasures were there. But the season for that is over. Today, I am handing you the key. The gifts I have placed within you that have laid dormant are now being activated by the fire of my spirit. Prepare yourself to operate in a new dimension of my power. You will begin to prophesy, heal, and operate in the supernatural as never before. Now, do not let your mind be filled with dramatic or strange images. Let me make this practical for you. The gift of prophecy may manifest as a sudden, specific word of encouragement you feel compelled to give a friend, a word that perfectly addresses the secret struggle of their heart and brings them immense hope. The gift of healing may begin to operate as you feel a surge of compassion for a sick coworker. Lay a hand on their shoulder and pray a simple prayer of faith, only to hear the next day that their pain is gone. The gift of discernment will manifest as a sharp inner knowing when something is not right, when a person is not being truthful, or when a deal is not from me. I am giving you a new sensitivity to the leading of my Holy Spirit. You will learn to recognize His voice, His nudges, His checks in your spirit. That gut feeling you used to dismiss will become a clear direction you learn to trust implicitly. You will discern between truth and error with profound accuracy, protecting you and those around you from deception. Your prayer life will also shift dramatically. It will move from being a list of timid requests to a platform for powerful, authoritative decrees. You will learn to speak my written word over your circumstances with confidence, knowing that my word does not return void. You will no longer just pray about the mountain. You will begin speaking to the mountain, commanding it to be moved in the name of Jesus. This is the authority I am unlocking in you. But you must hear my heart on this. Beloved, these gifts are not for your glory. They are not spiritual toys to show off your maturity. They are not for building your own platform or making a name for yourself. They are tools for my purpose, given to build my church and expand my kingdom. They are always to be used in love for the edification and blessing of others. Pride is the enemy of my power. As you remain humble, teachable, and utterly dependent on me, you will see these gifts flow through you with increasing power and accuracy. The treasure chest is open. It is time to reach in. Take hold of the tools I have given you and begin to build my kingdom with me. My child, let us talk about your family line, the history that was written long before you. You have felt its influence. You have seen the destructive patterns that have been passed down from one generation to the next like a flawed and tragic inheritance. The same spirit of anger that controlled your grandfather, you have felt rising in yourself. The same struggle with addiction that ensnared your uncle, you have felt its pull. The same shadow of poverty, of divorce, of chronic sickness, of fear. You have seen its destructive work in your family tree, and you have feared that it is your inescapable destiny. I am here today to declare with all the authority of heaven that your fear is unfounded. That history does not have to be your future. I am placing a divine, full stop, on the negative patterns that have been passed down through your family line. That story of bondage ends with you. The chains of addiction, poverty, and divorce that have held your family captive are broken in the mighty name of my Son, Jesus. I am speaking to those ancient spiritual chains right now, and I am commanding them to turn to dust. They have lost their power over you. They have no legal right to your life or the lives of your children. You have been redeemed from the curse by the blood of the Lamb. You are no longer defined by the sins of your fathers. You understand the power of this declaration. You are free. You are the one who gets to break the cycle. Because of this, you are the beginning of a new, godly lineage. I am giving you a new and holy identity. You are a generational curse breaker. You are a legacy starter. Your life is the watershed moment in your family's history from which everything will now flow in a new direction. The choices you make today to walk in freedom, to serve me, to love well, these choices are not just for you. You are making them for your children and your children's children. I am establishing a legacy of faith and blessing that will flow from you to 1,000 generations. Where there was a legacy of lack, you are establishing a legacy of abundance. Where there was a legacy of brokenness, you are establishing a legacy of wholeness. Where there was a legacy of fear, you are establishing a legacy of faith. Your family tree is being grafted into the vine of my eternal blessing. Imagine a wild, struggling tree that produces only bitter fruit. I am the divine gardener, and I am cutting you away from that old root system of bondage. I am grafting you and your entire future lineage into myself, the true vine. And now, connected to me, your life will produce the good fruit of my spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. This will be the new inheritance of your family. The sins of the fathers will no longer be visited upon you or your children. That legal transaction was finished at the cross. Today is your day of liberation. Stand up, walk out of that old family script, and begin to write a new story, a story of blessing, freedom, and faithfulness for generations to come. We have now established your royal identity and broken the curses of your past. But a prince who does not understand the principles of the kingdom cannot rule. It would be a deep sorrow to me if you were content with your new title but forfeited the wisdom needed to build your new legacy. I implore you, do not turn away now. I am about to release the heavenly strategies and divine wisdom that will empower you to possess all that I have promised. My child, you are facing situations that are complex and confusing. There is a problem at your job where the solution seems impossible, with tangled relationships and conflicting interests. There is a dynamic in your family that you do not know how to navigate. Every conversation feels like walking through a minefield. You have a big decision to make about your future, and every path seems fraught with uncertainty. In these moments, you have relied on your own intellect, on the advice of others, on what seems logical, and it has left you feeling stuck, anxious, and overwhelmed. I am here to offer you a better way. I am releasing to you an impartation of heavenly wisdom and divine strategy. I am giving you the wisdom of Solomon to navigate these complex situations. Remember, Solomon did not ask me for riches or power. He asked for a discerning heart to govern my people. And that request pleased me so much that I gave him wisdom unlike any other, along with riches and honor. Worldly wisdom is limited, but the wisdom that comes from above is pure, peace-loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy and good fruit. This is the wisdom I am giving you now. It is the ability to see a situation from my perspective, to cut through the noise and the complexity and see the simple, elegant solution that was hidden all along. Where you were once confused, you will have supernatural insight and understanding. This will not be just a vague feeling. I will give you divine strategies for your career, your family, and your ministry. A strategy is a plan of action. For that problem at work, I will download into your mind a step-by-step plan that will not only solve the issue but will also bring peace and honor my name. For that difficult family member, I will give you the exact words to say, and when to say them. That will unlock their heart instead of building more walls. For the ministry I have called you to, I will give you a blueprint for how to build it, how to fund it, and how to structure it for maximum impact. I will be your divine consultant, your heavenly strategist. I will show you hidden things and secrets you could not know on your own. I will reveal the true motive behind a person's actions, allowing you to respond with wisdom instead of reacting in emotion. I will highlight an opportunity that everyone else has overlooked. I will give you a sudden warning about a path that leads to a trap. This supernatural insight will protect you from foolish errors and position you for incredible success. Because of this, you will make decisions with a newfound confidence. The days of agonizing over choices, of being paralyzed by the fear of making a mistake, are over. You will move forward with a quiet assurance, knowing that your steps are being ordered by me. So, I invite you now, in that situation that has you so confused, to become still. Fight your own frantic thoughts and ask me for my wisdom. Ask me for my strategy. Then listen, for it is on its way. My child, I have been with you in the deepest valleys and the hottest fires. I know the anatomy of your deepest wounds. I am intimately familiar with the season that you thought would break you. The betrayal that shattered your ability to trust, the financial collapse that left you in a state of shame and fear, the health diagnosis that felt like a death sentence, the long, barren season of loneliness where your prayers seemed to hit a brass ceiling. You cried out and you felt an agonizing silence. But you must know I was not silent. I was present. I was in the fire with you, holding you, sustaining you, refusing to let the flames consume you. That season was your greatest test, a trial so profound it has marked you. But now I am decreeing a divine reversal over that pain. The area of your deepest pain, the very thing the enemy intended for your destruction, will become the source of your most powerful ministry. I am transforming your scars into emblems of my redemptive power. A wound is raw, open, and exquisitely painful, but a scar is a sign that healing has taken place. It is a testament to survival, to a battle that was fought and won. For too long, you have tried to hide your scars in shame, viewing them as marks of failure or damage. But I am anointing those scars today. They are no longer symbols of your pain, they are becoming symbols of my power. They are your medals of honor, proof that you have been through the fire and have come out not smelling of smoke, but radiating my glory. You will no longer look at them and feel the sting of the past. You will look at them and be reminded of my faithfulness. Every trial you have endured is now being repurposed for my glory. Nothing will be wasted. Every tear you cried has been collected and is being used to water the seeds of a new purpose in your life. Because of what you have walked through, you have been uniquely qualified to minister to others in a way no one else can. You will comfort others with the same comfort you have received from me. You will sit with someone in their despair and you will not offer them shallow platitudes. You will offer them the profound, empathetic comfort that comes only from having been in that same dark place. You will know what to say and, more importantly, when to be silent and simply be my presence to them. Your past pain has given you a PhD in compassion. Your story of overcoming will be a beacon of hope that brings many to me. You will stand and share how you were at your lowest point and how my hand reached down and pulled you out. Your testimony will not be a story of a perfect person who never struggled. It will be a real, raw, and powerful story of a broken person who was made whole by a loving God. And that is the story that will unlock the prison doors for others. The enemy's most strategic plan to destroy you will result in the salvation and healing of many. He thought he was writing the final chapter of your life, a chapter of defeat and despair. But I have taken the pen from his hand. I am the author and the finisher of your faith, and I am writing a glorious, triumphant final act where your greatest test becomes your most magnificent testimony. My beloved, let us examine the foundation upon which your life has been built. Be honest. For a long time, it has been a foundation of sand. Your faith has been circumstantial. When a prayer was answered quickly, your faith was strong. When a good report came, your belief soared. But when the winds of adversity blew, when the diagnosis was bad, when the bank account was empty, when I seemed silent, that flimsy foundation began to shift and crumble, leaving you in a state of panic and fear. Your belief has been propped up by your feelings, your experiences, and what your five senses have told you. This is a fragile way to live, always at the mercy of the next storm. I am telling you today that the days of living on a sandy, unstable foundation are over. I am the master builder and I am performing a divine excavation in your life. I am removing the flimsy groundwork of circumstantial belief. It must go. In its place, I am building in you a faith so robust, so deeply anchored in me that it will stand firm in any storm. This new foundation is not built on what you feel or what you see. It is built on two things that are eternal and unshakable: my character and my word. My character is always good, always faithful, and always loving, regardless of your circumstances. My word is always true, always powerful, and will never return void. This is the bedrock upon which your new life will be built. From this new foundation, you will learn to believe my promises, even when your senses scream the opposite. Your doctor's report may scream, incurable, but you will stand on my word that says, by his stripes you are healed. Your bank account may scream, lack, but you will stand on my promise that I supply all your needs according to my riches in glory. Your feelings may scream, fear and anxiety, but you will stand on my promise that I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. You will learn to honor my word above all other information. Your faith will no longer be a fragile, passive hope. It will become a powerful, creative force. Faith is the currency of my kingdom. It is the very substance that takes a promise from the unseen spiritual realm and makes it a tangible reality in your life. As we build this new foundation, doubt is being dismantled and replaced with a deep, abiding trust in my character. I am demolishing the structure of doubt that the enemy has built in your mind, brick by brick of past disappointments. In its place, I am building a fortress of trust. You will have a quiet, settled confidence that I am for you, that I am working all things for your good, even when you cannot see it. And with this new faith, you will finally move the mountains that have stood in your way for years. That mountain of generational debt, that mountain of chronic sickness, that mountain of relational strife. Your new, unshakable faith will speak to those mountains and they will be cast into the sea. This is your new reality. You are no longer living on the sand. You are standing on the rock, and the gates of hell will not prevail against you. My child, you have been faithful in the territory I have already given you. Your current circle of influence, your family, your job, your small community, you have served well there. You have been a light even when you felt it was only a flicker. But I have seen your faithfulness in the small, and I am now ready to entrust you with more. You have been thinking too small. Your dreams have been limited by your past experiences and your current resources. I am here to shatter those limitations and cast a vision for you that is as big as my kingdom. Get ready, for I am enlarging the borders of your influence for my kingdom's sake. The life you have been living is like a small, comfortable tent. It has kept you sheltered, but it has also kept you contained. I am telling you today to get ready to stretch. I am giving you a divine mandate to lengthen your cords and strengthen your stakes because you are about to expand. Your voice, your message, your unique testimony will reach people and places you never imagined. You may think, but I'm just an ordinary person, who would listen to me? But I am giving you a platform to declare my goodness and truth. This platform may be a stage, a boardroom, a blog that suddenly gains traction, a business that expands globally, or simply a conversation with a stranger that I divinely orchestrate. Do not despise the form the platform takes, just be ready to use it for my glory. Your life is about to have a ripple effect that touches nations. Like a stone cast into a great lake, your obedience and your transformed story will create waves of impact that will travel far beyond what you can see. The business idea I give you may create jobs for hundreds of people in another country. The book I call you to write may be translated into languages you have never heard, bringing hope to people you will never meet. The prayer you pray for your community may shift things in the spiritual realm that affect the destiny of your entire nation. You are far more powerful and influential than you have ever believed because my power is working through you. But with greater influence comes greater responsibility. I cannot expand your territory until I have expanded your capacity. So even now, I am increasing your capacity to handle greater responsibility and blessing. I am stretching your heart to love more people. I am expanding your mind to hold more of my wisdom and strategy. I am strengthening your spirit to carry more of my glory without becoming prideful. This stretching process may feel uncomfortable at times, like growing pains, but do not resist it. I am preparing you to carry the weight of the blessing that is coming. Prepare your mind, prepare your heart, prepare for your tent pegs to be stretched, for you are about to expand into a new, vast territory of influence for the kingdom of God. The small life is over. Your season of global impact has begun. My beloved, let us have a frank conversation about your words. You underestimate their power. You see them as fleeting and insignificant, as mere air that leaves your lips and vanishes. But I tell you, your words are containers. They are spiritual vehicles that carry either life or death, blessing or cursing. For too long, you have been careless with your speech. You have used your words to complain about your circumstances, which only reinforces your feeling of being trapped. You have used your words to criticize yourself, which partners with the accusations of the enemy. You have spoken words of doubt and fear over your future, which has the power to delay the very promises you are praying for. The time for this careless speech is over. Your mouth is about to be consecrated for a higher purpose. I am placing a guard over your mouth, consecrating your words for my purpose. My Holy Spirit will become a divine filter on your lips. You will begin to feel an inner check, a holy pause before you speak. In that pause, you will have a choice to speak the old language of defeat or the new language of faith. Choose life. My child, listen closely, for today I am shifting the very atmosphere around you. The season of complaining and rehearsing your problems is coming to an end right now. I am changing your language. You are going to stop speaking the language of defeat and start speaking the language of victory. Instead of talking about how you feel, you will begin to declare what my word says is true. This is not denial. This is the declaration of a higher reality. Your tongue is becoming a tool for life, encouragement, and prophecy. Your words will be like a healing balm to those who are hurting. You will speak a word of encouragement to someone that will be the very thing that keeps them from giving up. You are beginning to speak prophetically, not just predicting the future, but calling forth the destiny I have placed in others. As this transformation takes place, you will find that gossip and negativity become foreign to your vocabulary. They will taste like poison in your mouth, and you will lose your appetite for conversations that tear others down. Your heart will long only for conversations that build up, that impart grace, and that glorify me. You are learning the incredible power of decreeing a thing for it to be established. This is a shift from merely asking to authoritatively declaring. As my child, you carry my authority. When you speak a decree that is aligned with my will, all of heaven backs that decree, and creation begins to respond. You will learn to decree health over your body, peace over your home, and provision over your finances. The ultimate goal is for your spoken words to align perfectly with my written word. When your mouth speaks what my word has already declared, a powerful creative force is released into your world. So I command you today, fill your heart and your mind with my word. Meditate on my promises, for out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. When your heart is full of my truth, your mouth will become a powerful weapon in your hand and a glorious instrument for my kingdom. You can feel the anointing to expand and the new power in your words. But my child, never forget the source of that power. To take these gifts and walk away from my presence would be like a lamp trying to shine after being unplugged from its source. It grieves my heart when my children become fascinated with what I give but forget who I am. Stay here with me, for what I have to tell you next is the very secret to intimacy, the engine that will fuel this entire transformation. My child, of all the changes I am bringing into your life, this one is the most foundational. The most vital. It is the engine that will drive every other transformation. I am stirring within you a new and insatiable desire for intimacy with me. For a season, your spiritual life has been sustained by routine and duty. You have prayed because you are supposed to pray. You have read my word because you know it is the right thing to do. You love me, this I know. But the fire of passionate first love and encounter has dwindled to a flicker. You have been sustained by the memory of past encounters, by the faith of others, or by your own diligent effort, but that is a tiring way to live. I am calling you out of the wilderness of spiritual dryness and into a place of deep, soul-satisfying communion. I am giving you a holy dissatisfaction. You will find that material things and worldly applause will no longer satisfy your spirit. The new purchase, the recognition at work, the entertaining distraction, they will all start to feel profoundly empty. Do not be alarmed by this feeling. It is a gift from me. I am weaning you off the spiritual junk food of this world so that you will develop a deep hunger for the only feast that can truly nourish your soul, my presence. I am creating a void in you that only I can fill because I long to be your greatest desire, your ultimate treasure. You will find your greatest joy simply in being with me. Your time in prayer and in my word will shift from being a duty on your to-do list to being the delight of your heart. It will no longer be a discipline you must endure, but a refuge you run to. Prayer will cease to be a monologue where you present your list of needs. It will become a true conversation, a place of listening, of sharing your heart, and of simply enjoying my company. Reading my word will no longer be a mere academic exercise. The pages will come alive to you and you will read them as what they are. A passionate love letter from my heart to yours. I am now calling you to a courageous and terrifying act of faith. I am calling you to lay down your well-made plans at my feet. I want you to picture it. See yourself taking the blueprint you have so carefully designed for your life, the one with all your hopes and goals neatly labeled. See yourself walking to my altar and, with an act of your will, placing it there. I know the fear that rises in you as you do this. You fear that if you release control, everything will fall apart. You fear that I might ask you to give up something you dearly love. You fear that my plan might not be what you want, that it might lead to a place of less comfort, less security. Your mind races with 1,000 what-ifs. This is the great test of trust. Will you believe that my love for you is so complete, that my wisdom is so infinite, that the plan I have for you is immeasurably better than any plan you could ever devise for yourself? The life you imagined for yourself is a shadow of the one I have designed. Your plan was a decent, respectable house. My plan is a glorious, sprawling palace with rooms you did not even know you wanted. You planned for a safe harbor. I have designed for you a mighty ship and the skill to navigate the vast, beautiful ocean of my purposes. You see, you find liberation in releasing control and trusting my sovereignty. The constant stress of trying to manage every detail, the anxiety of trying to foresee every obstacle, the heavy burden of being the architect, the builder, and the project manager of your own life. I am setting you free from that exhaustion today. Your only job is to trust the master builder. My ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts are higher than your thoughts. This is not a rebuke, it is a comfort. It means you do not have to have all the answers. It means you can rest knowing that the one who holds the stars in place is also holding your life in his hands. In this world, surrender is seen as defeat, but in my kingdom, your surrender is not a defeat, it is your greatest victory. It is the moment you stop fighting to have your own way and you enter into the unstoppable flow of my will. It is the moment your small story gets swept up into my grand, eternal one. So let go of your map. In releasing your detailed, self-made map, you will discover my glorious destiny for you. A path revealed one beautiful step at a time. A path that requires you to walk in constant, intimate conversation with me. And that, my child, is the most wonderful destination of all. You have now laid your own plans at my feet, bravely choosing my divine blueprint for your life. If your heart truly cries out, "Not my will, but yours be done," then let your first act of total surrender be to empower my will on earth. Your partnership sends this word of freedom to those still imprisoned by their own plans. Your gift is the manna that will feed a starving soul tomorrow. It is the first drop that starts a river of my presence flowing through this ministry. I tell you the truth. I love a cheerful giver, and I will make all grace abound to you. This is your invitation to partner with my eternal plan in this urgent hour, so that having all you need, you will abound in every good work. Now, seal your surrender. Release your seed of faith through the Super Thanks membership or the PayPal link in the description. My beloved, let us speak of your heart. It is the very center of your being, the wellspring from which your life flows, and it has been wounded. I have seen it happen. Each time you were disappointed, a small layer of hardness formed. Each time you were betrayed, a callus developed. Each time your hope was deferred, a piece of your heart became cynical. Over time, these layers have built upon each other, creating a heart of stone, a defense mechanism designed to protect you from further pain. The symptoms are clear: a pervasive cynicism that believes nothing will ever really change, a stubborn unforgiveness that keeps replaying old hurts on a loop. and a creeping apathy that makes it hard to feel much of anything at all. You think this stone heart is keeping you safe, but I tell you the truth, it is keeping you imprisoned. It is keeping you from feeling my love and from truly loving others. Today, I am coming to you as the great physician, the divine surgeon, and I am going to perform a miracle. I am performing divine surgery, replacing any hardened part of your heart. I want you to lie still upon my operating table of grace. There is no pain here, only peace. Trust me, with hands that are infinitely gentle and skilled, I am reaching into your chest and I am removing that heavy, lifeless, stony heart. I am taking away the cynicism, the unforgiveness, and the apathy. It is gone. In its place, I am giving you a new heart, a heart of flesh, as I have promised in my word. Feel it now, a new heart beating in rhythm with mine. It is soft, it is alive, it is tender towards my voice and towards my people. With this new heart, you will be able to love others with my love. Not with your limited human emotion. Human love is conditional, it gets tired, it keeps score. But my love flowing through your new heart is supernatural. You will find yourself able to love that difficult family member, not through gritted teeth, but with genuine compassion. You will be able to forgive that person who hurt you so deeply, not because they deserve it, but because your new heart cannot bear the poison of unforgiveness. You will be filled with a compassion for the lost and the hurting that will move you to action. And you must understand, a tender heart is not a weak heart. This new heart I am giving you will be incredibly resilient because its source of life and strength is me. It will feel pain but will not be broken by it. It will be quick to forgive because it knows the freedom that forgiveness brings. It will be full of compassion but will not be crippled by codependency. It is a heart that is both soft and strong, tender and courageous. And the most beautiful outcome of this divine transplant is this. You will begin to feel what I feel and see people through my eyes. When you look at someone who is irritating or difficult, you will no longer see just their behavior. You will see their hidden wounds, their secret fears. You will see them as I see them, as a beloved child in desperate need of my grace. This is the miracle of the new heart that is yours today. Receive it, my child. I am speaking of a glorious and total transformation. I am taking you from glory to ever-increasing glory. But I must be honest with you about the journey. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. This change, while ultimately glorious, will require you to let go of the familiar, and that process will at times feel deeply uncomfortable. You are a butterfly, but you cannot become one without first enduring the darkness and dissolution of the chrysalis. You are in that transitional space now, and I know it feels disorienting. I want you to know that I see you, and I am giving you a special, tailor-made grace to endure this transition. This is the grace for the in-between. You are no longer who you were, but you have not yet fully become who you are becoming. It can be a lonely place. Old friends who were comfortable with your old self may not understand the new you, and they may fall away. The old habits and coping mechanisms you used to rely on will no longer work, leaving you feeling vulnerable and exposed. The old way you saw the world is gone, but the new perspective is not yet fully in focus. Do not panic in this space. Do not mistake this disorientation for a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that the divine surgery is working. I will give you the grace to walk through the temporary discomfort of the in-between. Grace is not just my unmerited favor, it is my divine empowerment. It is my strength flowing into you precisely when you feel you have no strength of your own. When you feel weak, my strength will be made perfect in you. When you feel uncertain, my peace will be your guide. When you feel lonely, my presence will be your constant companion. You must learn to lean on this grace, to depend on it for every moment of every day during this transition. Do not be alarmed when old things fall away. It is making room for the new. The life you have known is being renovated by the Master Builder, and some walls must be torn down. Some familiar furniture must be removed. It may look messy and chaotic for a season, but trust the process, for I am the Master Builder and my work is flawless. The foundation is being reset. The structure is being reinforced. I know exactly what I am doing. Your job is not to understand every step of the renovation, but to trust the renovator. In the midst of the winds of this change, peace will be your anchor. The world around you may be in chaos, and your inner world may feel like it is under construction, but my peace is the unshakable anchor that will hold you steady. It is a peace that surpasses your understanding, a peace that is not dependent on your circumstances. Cling to it. When you feel the anxiety of the transition rising, I want you to stop, take a deep breath, and say, peace. Be still. You will feel that anchor catch hold deep in your spirit, holding you secure until the storm of change passes and you emerge beautifully and wonderfully transformed. My beloved, I created you for connection, for family. But I know that for much of your life, you have felt a deep sense of loneliness. Even when surrounded by people, you have been part of communities where you have had to hide your true self to be accepted. You have been around people who subtly mocked your faith or drained your spirit with their endless negativity. You have longed for a place to belong, for people who truly see you and celebrate you. The ache of that loneliness is something I feel deeply, and I am here to tell you, the season of relational isolation is over. I am doing a holy rearrangement in your life. I am disconnecting you from those who drain your faith and connecting you to those who fuel it. This may be uncomfortable for a season. It will require you to create healthy distance from some, and it may mean some relationships naturally fall away. Do not cling to these connections out of a false sense of loyalty. If a relationship is consistently pulling you away from me and your calling, it is not a friendship, it is an anchor holding you back. I am giving you the grace to release these anchors, and as you do, you create space for the divine appointments I have for you. I am magnetically drawing you towards your tribe, a company of believers who are running in the same direction with the same fire in their hearts. You will find your tribe, and when you do, it will feel like coming home. You will sit down with them, and for the first time, you will feel you can exhale and be completely yourself. You will not have to explain your passion for me. They will share it. You will not have to downplay your dreams. They will champion them. You will be celebrated for who I made you to be, not judged for who you are not. The mask you have worn for so long will finally come off, and you will be loved for the real you. This is the community I am bringing you into. These divine alliances will be crucial for the assignments ahead. This is not just about finding friends to pass the time with. I am connecting you with your divine partners, your kingdom co-laborers. I am bringing you people whose strengths cover your weaknesses, whose gifts complement yours. Together, you will form a powerful, synergistic team for the kingdom of God. You will dream together, pray together, and take on assignments that you could never accomplish alone. You will find that one of you can put 1,000 of the enemy to flight, but together you can put 10,000 to flight. There is an exponential increase in power when my people come together in unity of spirit and purpose. Loneliness will be a thing of the past as you are knitted into the beautiful, diverse, and powerful family of God. You will finally understand what it means to belong. Prepare your heart. Your people are looking for you just as you are looking for them, and I am orchestrating the meeting. Your heart is new, your community is forming, and your purpose is becoming clear. But a new life requires a new way of walking. To receive all these promises and then attempt to live them out with your old habits would deeply wound my heart. You have come too far to stumble. Now I urge you, Do not leave this sacred conversation before I give you the keys to discipline and obedience that will sustain everything I have built in you. What you learn next will secure your future. My child, as we walk together into this new, expansive territory, our relationship must shift to a new level of trust, and the primary language of that trust is obedience. I know this is not a popular word in your world. Your culture celebrates radical independence and questions all authority. But in my kingdom, obedience is not a burdensome rule. It is the pathway to freedom, blessing, and power. I will require you to obey my instructions, even and especially when they do not make sense to your natural mind. My perspective is eternal, yours is limited. I see the end from the beginning. To you, my instruction may seem illogical, inefficient, or even foolish. You must choose. Will you trust your limited reasoning, or will you trust my infinite wisdom? The great blessings I have for you are unlocked by your obedience in the small things. Do not despise the small, quiet instruction. I may nudge you to call and encourage a specific person. I may instruct you to forgive someone who has not asked for it. I may tell you to give a specific amount of money when your own budget is tight. I may command you to rest when your mind is screaming that you need to strive and work harder. These are tests. They are not to prove your worth to me. That is already settled. They are to prove to yourself that you can be trusted. Your faithfulness and obedience in these small things will stretch your capacity to trust me, preparing you for the much larger assignments and blessings that I have in store for you. You must understand this. Partial obedience is disobedience. To obey only the instructions you like, the ones that are convenient or that make you look good, is not obedience at all. It is simply a form of control where you are still the one in charge. I am calling you to a complete, unqualified surrender. I am calling you to give me your yes before you even know the question. This is the heart of a true servant, a true son, a true daughter. It is a heart that says, "Not my will, but yours be done." I will test your heart to see if you will trust my commands above your own reasoning, above your own comfort, and above the opinions of others. Think of obedience as the key that unlocks the storehouses of heaven. All the provision, the wisdom, the breakthrough, the healing you need, it is all stored up, waiting for you. But it can only be accessed and released through the key of your obedience. Every promise I have made to you, every transformation we have spoken of is waiting for you on the other side of your yes to me. I want you to pause right now and ask me, Lord, what is the one thing you are asking me to do that I have been resisting? Listen for my answer. It will be clear. That act of obedience is the trigger. It is the first domino. The breakthrough you have been praying for years is waiting for your simple, courageous act of obedience today. Will you give it to me? My child, you have been walking in my love, and you are beginning to walk in my power. Now I am introducing you to my fire. Do not be afraid of this word. The fire of the enemy is for destruction, but my fire is for purification and passion. I am a consuming fire, and when you draw near to me, you cannot remain unchanged. I am sending a fresh baptism of my holy fire upon your life, not to harm you, but to refine you into the purest and most powerful version of yourself. Imagine a master goldsmith who takes a piece of precious but impure gold. He does not throw it away, he places it in the crucible. The intense heat causes all the dross, all the impurities, the worthless bits to rise to the surface so he can skim them away, leaving only the pure, brilliant, shining gold. You are that precious gold, my beloved, and I am the refiner. I am turning up the holy heat in your life because I see the incredible value within you, and I am determined to burn away everything that is not your true, glorious self. This fire will purify your motives and ignite your passion. Let us be honest. Even in your desire to serve me, your motives have sometimes been mixed. You have served me, but you have also secretly craved the approval of others. You have given, but you have also been motivated by a fear of lack. You have loved, but you have also been protecting your own heart. My fire is burning away these subtle, mixed motives. It is purifying your heart so that your service becomes pure worship, your giving becomes pure trust, and your love becomes a pure reflection of mine. At the same time, this fire will burn away the spiritual chaff and the lukewarmness from your life. The apathy that has settled in, the compromises you have started to make, the feeling of just going through the religious motions. These are like damp wood that smothers a flame. My fire is consuming that dampness. It is setting your heart ablaze with a renewed, passionate first love for me. You will find yourself no longer content with religious activity. You will crave authentic, fiery encounters with me. The predictable church service will no longer be enough. You will hunger for my manifest presence. The intellectual knowledge of my word will no longer be enough. You will long for the revelatory fire of my spirit to make the pages burn within you. A holy zeal for my house and my righteousness will begin to consume you. You will become passionate about the things I am passionate about: justice, mercy, truth, and the salvation of the lost. This fire will make you a light in the darkness and a terror to the enemy. To those who are lost and cold, the fire of my presence in you will be a warm, attractive, inviting beacon. But to the demonic forces of this world, that same fire will be a terrifying, holy inferno. They will not be able to stand the heat of your consecrated life. You are being refined not for destruction, but for a glorious purpose. I am making you pure so that you can carry a greater measure of my power. I am making you holy so that you can be a vessel of my glory in the earth. Embrace the fire. It is my love in its most intense and purifying form. My beloved child, come and sit with me. I see that you are tired, so very tired. Your life has been a long, exhausting performance. You have been striving to be a good enough Christian, a good enough parent, a good enough spouse, a good enough employee. You live under the constant, crushing pressure that everything depends on you, on your effort, your strength, your ability to hold it all together. You wake up with a to-do list for your own spiritual growth. And you go to bed feeling guilty for all the things you failed to do. This life of anxious striving and self-effort is a heavy, burdensome yoke, and I never intended for you to wear it. Listen to my voice, for it is an invitation to freedom. You will now learn to cease from your own works and enter into my rest. I am leading you out of the barren land of performance and into the green pastures of my grace. Your progress will no longer be dependent on your own frantic effort, but on my divine empowerment. For so long, you have been wearing the heavy yoke of performance, a yoke that chafes your spirit and leaves you exhausted. It is the yoke that whispers, you must do more. You must be better. You are not measuring up. Today, I am lifting that heavy, cruel yoke off your shoulders. I am replacing the heavy yoke of performance with the light yoke of relationship. What is this light yoke? It is simply learning to walk in step with me. It is a yoke designed for two. You walk beside me, and I am the one who carries the load. Your only job is to stay close to me, to listen to my voice, and to walk at my pace. You will accomplish infinitely more for my kingdom by learning to abide in me than you ever did by striving. A branch does not struggle and strain to produce an apple. It simply stays connected to the vine, and the life of the vine naturally, effortlessly produces the fruit through it. I am the vine, you are the branch. Your frantic striving has been like a branch trying to produce fruit after it has been disconnected from its life source. It is fruitless and exhausting. I am calling you back to the simplicity of abiding. Rest in me. Dwell in my presence, and you will find that the fruit of love, joy, peace, and power will begin to grow in your life. Not because of your effort, but because of my life flowing through you. My grace is the fuel for this new journey. Your only job is to receive it. Grace is not just my forgiveness for your past, it is my power for your present. It is my divine energy, my supernatural ability being made available to you in every moment. Stop trying to run your life on the fumes of your own willpower. Come to me and I will fill you with the high-octane fuel of my grace. And this leads to the most profound shift of all. You will now operate from a place of victory, not for victory. The battle has already been won at the cross. The victory over sin, death, and the enemy is a finished work. You are not fighting to win a battle that is in doubt. You are standing to enforce a victory that has already been secured. The striving is over. The performance has ended. It is time to enter into my rest, my grace, and my finished work. It is time to live from a place of triumphant peace. My child, all of this profound change, the healing, the freedom, the new purpose, is not happening in a vacuum. I am inviting you to lift your eyes from your own circumstances and see the bigger picture. This personal change in your life is a small reflection of a greater cosmic change that is unfolding in the earth. The entire world is groaning like a woman in labor for the revealing of my sons and daughters. For you to step into your true identity, I am opening your eyes to the urgency of the hour and the signs of the times. For too long, you have seen the world through the temporary and distorted lens of the 24-hour news cycle. It has filled you with anxiety, confusion, and a sense of hopelessness. But I am now giving you new eyes to see the world through the lens of eternity. I am giving you the ability to see my hand moving behind the scenes of world events, to understand that history is not a random series of chaotic events, but a story that I am writing, and it is rapidly approaching its glorious climax. This revelation will reorient your entire life. You will begin to live with an eternal perspective. When you see life through the lens of eternity, the things of this world that once seemed so important will begin to shrink. The small offense that would have ruined your day will seem trivial. The desperate need for a bigger house or a newer car will fade. The craving for worldly status and human approval will lose its power over you. Why? Because you will be living with a holy expectation for the return of my Son, Jesus. This is not a fearful, head-in-the-sand mentality. This is joyful, vibrant, and urgent hope. It is the blessed hope that will become the anchor for your soul in the turbulent times that are coming upon the earth. This eternal perspective will purify your priorities and simplify your focus. You will start to evaluate your choices, your use of time, and your resources with one simple question: does this have eternal value? This question will become a divine filter, helping you to say no to the thousands of good things that are distracting you from the few great things I have called you to. It will purify your motives, your relationships, and your ambitions. You will no longer be living for a comfortable retirement. You will be living to hear the words, "Well done, good and faithful servant." You will live each day with a joyful and sobering reality that this could be the day you see me face to face. This hope does not cause you to withdraw from the world. It causes you to engage with it more purposefully than ever before, because you know that the time to share my love is short. I am giving you a watchman's anointing to be aware of the season you are in and to live with a holy and joyful urgency for my kingdom. My child, we have spoken of the incredible, miraculous work I am doing in you. The healing of your heart, the renewal of your mind, the breaking of generational curses, the release of your divine purpose. It is a beautiful and deeply personal work between you and me. But you must understand this with absolute clarity. This miraculous work I am doing in you is not for you alone. I did not pull you from the miry clay and set your feet upon the rock just so you could be safe and comfortable. I did not light the brilliant lamp of your life just so you could enjoy its warmth in a private room. This transformation has a purpose that is bigger than your personal happiness. You are being transformed to be a transformer. Your very life is to become a living, breathing sermon of my goodness and power. There are people in your world who would never step foot in a church, who would never listen to a traditional sermon, but they are watching you. They have seen you in your brokenness, and they are about to see you in your restoration. They will see the unexplainable peace on your face in the midst of a storm. They will hear the joy in your laughter that has replaced the bitterness in your heart. They will witness the supernatural favor that opens doors for you that should have been sealed shut. Your changed life will be the most powerful message you will ever preach. It will make people hungry to know the God who is so real that he can do something like that in a person's life. Because of this, I am giving you a divine mandate. I am commanding you to be bold and tell everyone what I have done for you. The spirit of timidity and the fear of what people will think, that is being broken off you now. You must not edit your story to make it more palatable for others. Do not downplay the darkness of your before, and do not minimize the glory of your after. Be honest, be real, be vulnerable. Your story is not a story of your own perfection. It is a story of my perfect grace in the midst of your imperfection. And that is the story the world is dying to hear. Your testimony will be the key that unlocks someone else's prison door. There is someone in your life who is trapped in the very same prison you just escaped from. They believe the same lies you used to believe. They are bound by the same chains that once held you. They do not need your advice or your theories. They need to hear your story. Your story is the specific, tailor-made key that will fit the lock of their prison. When you have the courage to say, I have been where you are, and this is how my God set me free, you are throwing them a lifeline of hope. Your testimony is a gift, and it is not yours to keep. And so, my child, do not hide my light under a bushel. I have set you on a lampstand. I have made you a city on a hill that cannot be hidden. It is time to shine. Let the glorious light of your transformation shine so brightly that it gives hope to the hopeless and guides many home to me. This is your great commission. We have come so far, you and I. The new reality is woven into your spirit, but the final sealing promises are yet to be spoken. To turn away now would be like a bride walking out of her own wedding before the final, unbreakable vows are made. It would break my heart to bring you to the threshold of this everlasting covenant only to have you miss its eternal security. What I have to say next is the very anchor that will hold all these other promises firm in your life. Do not go, my beloved, for too long. Your home has been a place of chaos instead of a place of peace. It has been a reflection of the turmoil in the world rather than a reflection of the tranquility of my kingdom. I have seen the low-level stress that permeates the air, the communication that is filled with misunderstanding and sharp edges, the feeling that you have to walk on eggshells to keep the peace. You come home from a difficult day in the world hoping for a refuge, only to find another battlefield. This is not my will for you. Your home is meant to be a sanctuary, a haven, a place of safety and spiritual renewal. Today, I am moving in as the rightful owner of your household, and I am bringing my heavenly order and peace with me. I am issuing a divine eviction notice to the spirits of strife, chaos, and division that have taken up residence in your home. Their lease is up. Their time is over. By my authority, they must leave now. And in the space they leave, my spirit is coming to dwell. My peace, a peace that is not just the absence of conflict but the presence of a powerful, supernatural tranquility, will stand guard at your doors and windows. Your home will become a protected space, a place where the stress and anxiety of the world cannot penetrate. I am establishing you and your family on the rock of my word. The foundation of your family life will no longer be the shifting sands of human emotion, cultural trends, or dysfunctional family patterns. The new foundation will be my eternal, unshakable truth. My principles for love, honor, forgiveness, and communication will become the new house rules. You will learn to love each other, not with a selfish, demanding love, but with my patient and kind agape love. You will learn to forgive quickly, to speak words that build up, and to honor one another. I am restoring the foundations of family according to my divine design. I am turning the hearts of the parents towards the children and the hearts of the children towards the parents. Because of this, your home will become a sanctuary, a place of refuge and spiritual renewal. It will be the place your family members long to return to at the end of the day, a place where they can be themselves, where they can be vulnerable, and where they can find rest for their souls. But the vision is even bigger than that. Your home will not just be a defensive fortress, it will be an offensive headquarters for the kingdom of God. It will become a launching pad for ministry, a place from which your family goes out to be a light in your community. It will be a beacon of light in your neighborhood. Your neighbors will see the love and peace in your home and they will be drawn to it. Your home will be a place of hospitality, a place where the lonely find family and the searching find me. This is my vision for your home. Let me in. Give me the authority and I will make your home a little taste of heaven on earth. My child, as I lead you out of the ruins of your old life and into this glorious, wide-open space of promise, there is one final, crucial instruction we must discuss. It is a warning given not in anger, but in the deepest, most protective love. I need you to remember Lot's wife. When I was delivering her from a city of destruction, a place of bondage and compromise, I gave one simple command: do not look back. It was not a test of her memory, but a test of her heart. The journey ahead into the unknown was daunting, and in a moment of weakness, she looked back. It was not just a curious glance, it was a look of longing. Her heart was still tied to the familiar comforts of the very bondage I was setting her free from. And in that one act of a divided heart, she forfeited her future. I am telling you her story today because I love you far too much to see you make the same mistake. The life I have for you is too glorious to be traded for a nostalgic glance at a past that was killing you. You must understand what looking back means for you in this new season. It is more than just a memory. It is entertaining the old thought patterns of fear and inadequacy that I have just delivered you from. It is reopening the door to toxic relationships that I have commanded you to close, believing you can somehow manage them now. It is running back to old, destructive habits, the striving, the complaining, the numbing behaviors, the moment you feel the pressure of this new, higher way of living. It is romanticizing your bondage, remembering the predictable comfort of your prison cell, and forgetting the agony of your chains. You cannot, you must not do this. Nostalgia for your old bondage will disqualify you from your new inheritance. You cannot carry old mindsets, old habits, or old relationships into this new season. I am giving you new wine, the wine of my spirit, of joy, of power. If you try to pour it into the old, brittle wineskins of your past way of thinking, the new wine will be lost and the wineskins destroyed. You must make a clean break. The past is under my blood. Your future is in my hands. The past is a settled issue. It has been paid for, redeemed, and its power over you is completely broken. It is a closed chapter. Your future, on the other hand, is an open book held securely in the hands of a loving author who is writing a magnificent story. Why would you long for a place of settled ruin when you could have a future of secured glory? So I command you today, with the fierce love of a father protecting his child's destiny, press forward. A runner in a race who constantly looks over their shoulder will inevitably stumble. They lose their momentum, their focus, and ultimately the prize. The prize I have for you, the high calling of living in the fullness of your true identity, is too precious to risk. Keep your eyes fixed firmly on Jesus, the author and the perfecter of your faith. Do not look to the left or to the right at what others are doing. Do not look behind you at what is finished. Look forward, look upward, for what lies ahead of you is immeasurably greater than anything you are leaving behind. The promised land is before you. Do not look back. My beloved child, we have journeyed far in this conversation. I have declared to you a total and complete transformation of your life. I have spoken of healing your heart, renewing your mind, breaking ancient curses, and releasing a glorious new destiny. And now, at the culmination of it all, you may be asking, why? Why are you doing all of this for me? I want you to hear the answer, and I want it to resound in the deepest chambers of your spirit for all eternity. All of these changes, from the smallest shift in your thinking to the grandest opening of doors, are an expression of one simple, earth-shattering, and unstoppable reality. My unfailing, passionate, and personal love for you. This is not a reward for your good behavior. It is not something you have earned. It is a gift flowing from the very essence of who I am. I am love, and everything I do flows from that love. This entire life-altering transformation is my love made manifest in your life. As you step into this new path, this glorious and sometimes challenging journey of becoming, I make this everlasting covenant with you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Hear those words. Let them become the bedrock of your soul. In the moments of exhilarating victory, I will be right there celebrating with you. In the future moments of trial or uncertainty, when the newness feels overwhelming, I will be right there sustaining you. You will never walk a single step of this new life alone. My presence will be your constant companion, your guide, and your greatest comfort. Furthermore, my goodness and mercy shall follow you all the days of this new life. Picture this. You are walking forward into your destiny, and behind you, like two divine bodyguards, are my goodness and my mercy. My goodness goes ahead to prepare the way, strewing your path with favor and blessing. My mercy follows behind, cleaning up any mess you make, protecting you from the attacks of the enemy that come from the rear, and ensuring that your past mistakes can never catch up to you. You are covered from every direction. Because of this, you can live in a state of profound security. You are mine, and nothing can snatch you from my hand. Not the schemes of the enemy, not the failures of your own humanity, not the shifting circumstances of this world, nothing. You are held in the palm of my hand, a place of absolute safety and eternal belonging. This is not just a temporary blessing. This is not a good season that will eventually fade. What has happened in your life through this encounter is an eternal shift in your identity and your destiny. You have crossed a line in the spiritual realm. You have been fundamentally and permanently changed. You can never go back to being who you were. The old is gone. Behold, the new has come. So, my child, my beloved, my transformed one, here is my final instruction. Walk in it. This new reality is not a far-off hope you are striving for. It is a present tense possession. The change is not coming. It is not on the horizon. It is here, now. So get up, stand tall. Your chains are gone. Your future is bright. Your purpose is clear. You are loved. You are powerful. And you are mine. Now go and live like it is true. Because it is, my child. We have now sealed this everlasting covenant, and my promise to never leave you is your eternal reality. If gratitude for this finished work is overflowing in your heart, then I invite you to become a conduit of my covenant love to another soul. Your gift is the oil that keeps this lamp burning brightly in the digital darkness, a beacon of hope for the one who, just moments ago, felt as you once did. As you give, I make this promise to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over will be poured into your lap. This is your first act of worship from your new life, a first fruit offering from the land of your promise. Now release your thank offering. Let your worship be made visible by giving through Super Thanks membership or PayPal, and carry this covenant to the ends of the earth. My child, do not let this sacred moment pass. To seal this divine interruption and agree with the work I have already begun, you must make a declaration of faith. Go now to the comments and, with the authority I have placed in your spirit, write, "He is changing everything in my life." Let this be the prophetic marker that separates your past from your future. Your declaration is the sound of your chains breaking and your new story beginning. Do this now and let all of heaven bear witness to your victory. Amen.